Okay, folks. Thanks for being here at the Canary Cry News Talk live stream, pre-stream. Very excited. We're very excited today. We got a great show. We're going to get started about a minute. Yes, we're slightly early. We wish we were even earlier. We're trying to be responsible adults. Especially because, people got lives to live, man. We can't be doing this show so late. I am, as we speak, sending out the text message. Boom. Send now. If you do not receive our text messages and you would like to, it's a great way to make sure you never miss a show. And so what you're going to want to do, take out that cell phone of yours and text the word canary to 877-740-3226. That's 877-740-3226, and you will receive a text message right before we go live on, the live streaming days. So do that. Go to canarycry.party. You can find all sorts of resources that you need. You need them in your life, including the list of our other live streaming locations, because as usual, YouTube will only be receiving half of today's live broadcast. And that's pretty much it. I can't think of any other announcements that we will not announce in the show. I will say, and I hate to say it sounds like a broken record, and I don't like to nag. But if you've been holding off on putting your value back into the show to keep the show going, defend true independent media, today is a great day to do that. More thinning. The herd has been thinning. And so if you find value in what we do, think about returning that value in the value for value system. Head to canarycry.support or canarycryradio.com/support. Either one will get you there. And today is a great day to show your love. And here we go. We're going, folks. Buckle your seatbelts. Stay hydrated. Zoom.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is April 4th, 2022. This is episode 467, and we are live to tape with Royal Ruble and Razzle Dazzle. I am your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. Welcome back. We're live.
Yes.
We're always live.
Yes. Welcome back to you as well, Gonz.
Yep.
I'm happy to have you here in my home, my news analysis and deconstruction home. As you can see, I've redecorated the place to match the current apocalyptic situation.
Yes.
And we've got a great set of stories for you today, folks. Of course, we're going to be starting out with our lead stories that are all revolving not just around the war between Russia and whoever else Russia is at war with, but also where the economic standards will be moving. Very important to know for the future. Of course, we'll have a wonderful FLIPPY update spanning the large expanses of time. We also got POLYTICKS checking in with old hairy legs. A 5G update today, which those come so far between, and we're excited to have a little have a little, I don't know. You'll see. It's going to be great. And then we'll be checking in with the the topic of witchcraft in the public eye, as well in the international order. And you guessed it, we'll be topping off the show, making sure you are fully aware of why and how Antarctica is the most important place in the world.
Aliens.
But all that comes later. But first, our lead stories, Gons. What do you got for us?
Russia, Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold.
Buy gold.
Oh, okay. Buy gold. All right.
We're bringing this story from RT, which obviously is censored out in the West. This is probably not a good leading point for Susan. She might not like the fact that we're reading from RT. But
are we carrying water for Putin, Gons?
This isn't water. Maybe some gold.
Okay, good. Okay. As long as it's not water.
As long as it's not water. Gold-backed ruble could be a game changer. This is an RT article that came out on April 2nd, 2022. It says here, the Bank of Russia has resumed gold purchases this week, but more importantly, the regulator is doing so at a fixed price of 5,000 rubles, about $59 per gram, between March 28th and June 30th, raising the possibility of Russia returning to the gold standard for the first time in over a century. If the country takes the next step, as has been proposed this week, to sell its commodities priced in rubles, these combined moves could have huge implications for the ruble, the US dollar, and the global economy. To get some answers, RT spoke to precious metals analyst Ronan Manley at Bullion Star Singapore. So don't worry, Susan.
Ronan Manley.
They're just talking to the Manley guy from Bullion Star in Singapore, not some Russian oligarch.
Mr. Manley.
Yeah.
No.
So it's an interview style. I'll read a little bit just to kind of get an idea here. Why is setting a fixed price for gold and rubles significant? And Manley answers, by offering to buy gold from Russian banks at a fixed price of 5,000 rubles per gram, the Bank of Russia has both linked the ruble to gold and, since gold trades in U.S. dollars, set a floor price for the ruble in terms of the U.S. dollar. And I was thinking, man, this is actually, if it's not like, obviously this all feels planned, right? Like, wow, how convenient that Russia with all their gold reserves is all of a sudden like, USA putting sanctions on us, better tie that currency back to gold. And that forces the U.S. to not be able to push the price down. Yeah. Go ahead.
We've been tracking for about a year the abnormal uptick in gold purchases, both by the central banks of Russia and China, which sort of signaled that something
they were
weird.
Ready for this. They were very ready for this occasion.
It's almost like they had been preparing this contingency plan for a while now.
Right. We can see this linkage in action since Friday, 25th March, when the Bank of Russia made the fixed price announcement. The ruble was trading at around $100 or 100 to the US dollar at that time, but has since strengthened and is nearing 80 to the dollar. Why? Because gold has been trading on international markets at about, it gets into some of the details, and it gets a little complicated with the math and the charting and all that. We don't have to get into all that.
But the point is, it seems to be working.
It's working, because the U.S., if the U.S. wants to continue to destroy the ruble, they basically have to manipulate the price of gold down, to do that, because the gold price is fixed. So, interesting.
And the difference is, it is quite the play. And the difference is, just for those who might need a review, there's the gold standard for currency, and then there's other standards. But one of the most popular in today's global economies are fiat currency, which is basically the price or the value of a piece of currency based more or less on debt, the existence of debt mixed with the authority behind it guaranteeing that debt, which is, of course, what the U.S. has been on for quite a few decades now, and they sort of forced it on the rest of the world.
They did.
And anytime anybody wanted to go back to a gold standard, the U.S. suddenly found, terrorists or something in their country.
To fight. There's things to do. Must keep that printer running.
Yeah. Which is an interesting timing on it because, hey, Russia's already at war. What's the U.S. going to do? Be at more war?
Yeah. Well, the play isn't just with gold, because the next question here, what does it mean for oil? Russia is the world's largest natural gas exporter and the world's third largest oil exporter. We are seeing right now that Putin is demanding that foreign buyers, importers of Russian gas, must pay for this natural gas using rubles. This immediately links the price of natural gas to rubles, and because of the fixed link to gold, to the gold price. So Russian natural gas is now linked via the ruble to gold. We have gold-backed oil from Russia. That's, I mean, that's like, whoa, okay. We were talking about commodity, moving back towards a commodity-based world order, and here we are.
This lines up perfectly with the analysis that you brought last week, which is, as far as international commerce is concerned, or sort of the economy of individual states, moving directly back to a commodity-based value system, at least for the big boys. And that's exactly what happened. You've got at least two commodities wrapped up in this attempt to strengthen the ruble. And so far, so good. Man, I should have bought rubles when I had the chance.
Well, you know, when it was dipping, we did make that joke, buy the dip, buy the ruble dip, but it was true.
I know. I was giving that advice away for free, and as usual, I was not taking my own advice.
Right.
I cannot believe it.
Well, you're a giver, It's more good to give. It's the whole biblical thing, Gotta give, man. Gotta give.
Okay. One of these days, I'd love to receive. I wonder what that's like.
You receive the free gift of salvation, my man. You're good.
You're
good to go.
That's true. Thanks for the reminder.
What does it mean for the price of gold? By playing both sides of the equation, i.e. linking the ruble to gold and then linking energy payments to the ruble, the Bank of Russia and the Kremlin are fundamentally altering the entire working assumption of the global trade system while accelerating change in the global monetary system. This wall of buyers in search of physical gold to pay for real commodities could certainly torpedo and blow up the paper gold markets of the LBMA and COMEX. And actually, that's another interesting thing because, well, if the gold prices go to where they're supposed to go, I mean, we're talking a lot of gains for gold, but also it weakens the dollar even more. So it's an interesting situation the U.S. is in. The fixed peg between
not just the U.S. dollar, but we're also talking the petrodollar.
Well, because most of the world's fiat is pegged to the U.S. dollar, which is pegged to the oil side of things for the U.S. as well.
Yeah.
It gets into more stuff here. What does it mean for the ruble? And I also think it's interesting. It kind of forces the U.S. to look at not just gold as commodities, but I think this has something to do with Bitcoin. I think the U.S. might be getting ready to roll out a big Bitcoin campaign. Here's why. Because think about what happened with gold, right? There was a big gold rush. Everyone fled west, try to get gold. And then in 1933, because of the turmoil in the economy and everything else, the government or the Fed decided it's illegal to own gold. Sell your gold, trade it in for U.S. dollars. And so they did. And then
full on confiscated a lot of gold.
Right? And then after the fact, then the government, now that there was a reserve of gold, with the federal government, they raised the price and, all the, forget all the, the peons out there and they're, they're duped into selling their gold to the government for, pennies on the dollar. That can happen again. Why is Bitcoin called digital gold or gold 2.0? If you look at the history of gold and what happened under this new world order system, that's not a good sign for Bitcoin. But before it gets locked down, it's going to have to go way up because you want everybody to buy in, right? And then they can roll out the CBDCs. That's when they can go, hey.
So you're thinking they're going to do a national sort of Bitcoin confiscation program?
I think they're going to try maybe a few years. If this thing keeps rolling the way it is, I have a feeling they're going to try something like that because otherwise the U.S. dollar they're going to say this is to save the dollar, to save the West, to say, whatever.
Right.
And so that's why the people that own these new assets will have to, they're contributing to the country. They're doing it for
your patriotic
duty to, yeah.
And don't worry, we'll give you the
we'll
CBDC
compensate you with the CBDC and we'll track it. So it's very.
That is a nightmare.
I know. But I think that's kind of what they're planning to do. I don't know if they'll pull it off. But I can see that being a big play with the CBDC thing as we move forward here, and why, I don't know. You can get into all kinds of corners and topics of Bitcoin and the ins and outs and the rabbit trails. But I think there's something to do with
folks. Hardware wallets,
and that's the thing. When the government, and that's going to be the big thing. You don't have to give your money or your Bitcoin up to the government, but are they going to make that illegal? Are they going to make you some kind of terrorist because you own Bitcoin? Yeah. That's really the fear.
Well, we already know that's that's a very useful strategy that they've already done.
Yeah. So let me just wrap with this. What does it mean for the U.S. dollar? Since 1971, the global reserve status of the U.S. dollar has been underpinned by oil, and the petrodollar era has only been possible due to both the world's continued use of U.S. dollars to trade oil and the USA's ability to prevent any competitor to the U.S. dollar. But what we are seeing right now looks like the beginning of the end of that 50-year system and the birth of a new gold and commodity-backed multilateral monetary system. The freezing of Russia's foreign exchange reserves has been the trigger, which is so funny. It's like, we did this for what? To stop Putin with this war thing, but it's just making things way worse for the U.S. The giant commodity-strong countries of the world, such as China and the oil-exporting nations, may now feel that now is the time to move to a new, more equitable monetary system. It's not a surprise. They have been discussing it for years. While it's still too early to say how the U.S. dollar will be affected, it will come out of this period weaker and less influential than before. So that's kind of the obviously this is RT. You got to take that with a grain of salt, but also some truth in there that, this is the whole sanction thing is shooting the U.S. shooting themselves in the foot in a certain way, because it triggered all this stuff. Which is why it's kind of like, seems like part of the big agenda to reset everything.
It's almost as if there's been a long-standing plan being executed to execute some sort of great reset on the whole system.
Well, it's just funny because it's one of those things Biden's like, set the sanctions, Putin, evil man. And Putin's like, oh, yes, just this is when I peg to gold, It's like
isn't it funny, though? I mean, the people who pay attention are, have been complaining about the fact, that we've been off the gold standard for quite some time and how messed up that is and how it only serves to empower existing power structures and put more authority into the hands of those at the top of the pyramid, if you will. And that, having a currency based on gold is sort of like if you want to talk about equitable currency system, if the piece of paper actually represents a physical piece of value in the world, that's a little bit more equitable. But no, it's Putin, the evil psychopath, who is doing the thing, who's like making this, going back to a more equitable economic system. And so we need to find some alternative to the new Hitler's weird evil plan to value his money based on commodities. And that will be, I'm sure it'll work out so well for us, Gons.
Well, you brought up the Great Reset, and that's something I want to talk about here as well.
Let's do it.
Russia.
We need a Great Reset.
Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable.
A new world order.
It's possible. When do we want it?
Yes, this was a clip that was, I was strolling down CNN lane, which I love to do, and seriously can't help myself at this point. It is an addictive thing. So don't Don't mess around with CNN, kids. It'll fry your brain, and you'll never get off the stuff. But they had an interview here with a retired general who came in to talk about what's going on. It was retired General Wesley Clark. Mm-hmm. Ever heard of him, Gons? We're talking about the Wesley Clark 7, and he had some fun things to say about Russia. And again, keep in mind, CNN is pretty much the most
transparent intel news platform.
the most well-funded conspiracy theory outlet, as well as intelligence, the U.S. intelligence outlet as well. So go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage, baby.
General, what should we be reading into U.S. intelligence that's telling us that Russia is shifting its focus to having this victory in early May? If Russia takes control of parts of Ukraine, would Putin just stop there? Wouldn't he want more?
Oh, the goal's not any different. He published what he wanted back in December. He wants Ukraine.
Will you pause it real quick?
He wants the Baltic.
Yeah.
What kind of question is that for an anchor to ask?
Well, it's a setup. Of course, it's CNN.
Excuse me, if Putin gets what he wants, won't he just want more, General? What the heck kind of question is that? Okay, all right, give us the talking points, General.
He published what he wanted back in December. He wants Ukraine. He wants the Baltic states. He wants control over Eastern Europe. He wants to shatter NATO, and he wants the United States out. This is for all the marbles. All he's trying to do right now is stall. He'd like to stall Western reinforcement of Ukraine. He'd like to have us emotionally, morally disarmed to think that's all he wants, but it isn't. So he wants to disrupt the international system, and with him is China in this.
Hold on. Isn't the Biden sanction what disrupt? I mean, yes, the invasion of Russia.
So glad you got that.
But yeah, okay, yeah. All right.
He wants to disrupt the international system.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that is what he wants, then what you're saying, General Wesley Clark, is that Biden fell directly into the trap. Why are we doing what all the sanctions, pretty much the only set of actions that Biden has taken against Putin in response, by the way, not on his own, in response to Putin's movement in Ukraine, was to pull the sanctions, convince everybody else to pull the sanctions, talk to all the other international leaders, make everybody else obey the sanctions. That's what's disrupted the international economic order. It wasn't Putin. And if Putin did all of this as a trap to lure Biden into destroying the current economic world order, then what does that say about our president? He did exactly what Putin wanted. So I think this is, whether or not that is the case, it very well could have been the case. I mean, Putin's not a dumb guy if you believe people like, well, this retired general and everybody else sort of trying to simultaneously convince us that he's a madman with a brain tumor and a narcissistic personality disorder, or some sort of genius who is single-handedly destroying, 100 years worth of New World Order economic
sounds familiar. A familiar dichotomy there.
Exactly. Somehow he's doing both, and we fell right into his trap, and Biden just is taken by surprise. He had no idea that this was going to disrupt the entire economic world order. Okay, continue.
It's the Trump Putin.
China's on the sidelines, maybe, but rooting for him. China's looking at Taiwan. China wants to assert itself. So China and Russia have teamed up on this. Ukraine is just the current battlefield. But if the Ukrainians defeat Russia on this battlefield, everything changes. So the best way to protect NATO,
way to pause it real quick.
Does it really?
What do you mean Ukraine defeats Russia on this battlefield? Over and over and over, the corporate news has told us, there's just no way Ukraine could win this war on their own. There's no way. Putin's army is 10 times bigger than what he's sent in there so far. He has the biggest guns, the fanciest drones. Ukraine doesn't stand a chance. We must go in and help them. And this imaginary situation where General Wesley Clark is talking about, Ukraine must defeat Russia on this battlefield and they will save the world. Well, sounds like a great reason for the U.S. to get involved, doesn't it? Cool.
So the best way to protect NATO, the best way to protect the international system is to give Ukraine the assistance it says it needs and let them handle Russia on this battlefild.
What's fascinating about this, and this is partly why we're talking about this as the New World Order, is that I realized last night as I was kind of putting this show together that I feel like, and we've talked about some of this before, like the different party system in the world order being similar to like a Republican Democrat thing. If you look at the history of the U.S. and how we split up into two parties, we had like the Constitution, we had, the Bill of Rights, 1776, that whole deal. I think it's within like 20 years or something, they started arguing about how much power should the government have and how should that, power be distributed. And it split off into two parties, right? And there's more detail to that, obviously, but just kind of a rundown. And I feel like that's what's happening here. We all agreed for this globalism, this world order. We have all agreed to do it with the U.S. dollar. Here we are. We have done it. And then now there's disagreements about how to do it. And that's why I think we're hearing everybody call for a new world order. Ever since this whole thing happened, I have a screenshot here of 12 articles just doing a New World Order search, just phrase New World Order. And I tallied it, and this is what this was, Baz. I know you were like, what is this thing with the notes? But basically, out of the 12, there's 4 headlines that say how Russia and China are trying to build a world order, New World Order, democratic world order. There's 4 articles about the U.S. and Biden saying, oh, Biden's talking about a new world order. What's he talking about? The Washington Times even has Cold War II and Biden's new world order, which is something we've talked about in the past as well. And then there's 4 others that are more neutral. So it's kind of like it's like the race is on, the game is on, speaking of the New World
battle
Order
for the New World Order.
Right. I'm seriously though, like right as we're launching the New World Order Fantasy League, that we're going to probably do in the next few weeks here. The real life game of chess, whatever, in the global stage is beginning as well. So I thought that was really fascinating.
It's the big game, baby. The big game is starting. It's starting. We are ready for it.
And there's one country that I want to focus in on just to wrap up this little segment here, and that is Israel, because it has a lot to do with eschatology, the Bible. Stuff happened in Israel that has to do with the Bible. Did you know this, Basil? I don't know if you knew this.
I would have no way of knowing.
The article is written by, it's an opinion piece written by Philip Pilkington for Newsweek. And the headline is, Israel in the New Multipolar World Order. So everyone's using the same phrase. Yeah. Because, we were coming out of a unipolar system, the US dollar. We're going into multipolar. Over the past few weeks, it has become impossible to deny the rapid emergence of a multipolar world. This trend has been in the pipeline for some time, but the invasion of Ukraine by Russia allows us to apply Hemingway's adage about going broke. The multipolar world emerged gradually, then suddenly. Yes. Ooh. What this means for the world is unclear, but expect a lot of change.
Coincidentally, that's what they say about falling in love and falling asleep, Gons. Yeah, it happens slowly and then all at once.
True. What this means for the world is unclear, but expect a lot of change in the coming decade. By the end of the 2020s, the world is unlikely to look anything like it did at the beginning. The Russian invasion of Ukraine and the apparent coordination between Russia and China in its wake seem likely to instigate lasting changes in the geopolitical and economic world order on a magnitude not seen since the Second World War. Similar language with the whole New World Order conversation. One country that will want to pay close attention is Israel. Since the end of the short Yom Kippur War in 1973, Israel's fate has been tied to the dominance of the United States. In recent years, this relationship has weakened somewhat, but it remains Israel's de facto fallback. The problem for Israel is simple enough. Iran is a major power in the region, both historically and in terms of sheer size, and the Islamic Republic makes no secret that it does not recognize Israel's legitimacy. Israel's relationship with the U.S. has ensured that Iran has been contained. This was mainly accomplished through harsh economic sanctions that kept the Iranian economy weak and until now dissuaded Iran from pursuing nuclear weapons. Sorry, I had a continue thing here. Let's see. American-led sanctions do not look nearly as convincing today as they did before the Russian invasion. However, Russia and China have responded to them by stitching together a variety of measures that not only allow Russia to function within the sanctions, but seek to build a rival economic system to the Western one. If Russia and China succeed, they could quite easily alleviate the burden on the Iranian economy by bringing it into the fold. This would render American sanctions much less effective tool as a tool to contain the country. What are Israel's possible responses to this scenario? The most obvious is diplomacy. Israel has run hot and cold during the Russian invasion, which is true. Have you noticed? They're kind of like, they're not really taking a stance on the Russia thing. They've been very accommodating to some Russian oligarchs, but also not being fully, not fully unbacking Ukraine. They've been sort of beating around the bush. Israel has good relations with Russia and China. If and when the New World Order emerges, Israel will no doubt use these relations to make clear its problems with Iran. But Russia and China also have good relations with Iran. The best Israel can hope for out of this diplomacy would be for Russia and China to mediate an arrangement in the Middle East that is somewhat stable. In Israel's worst-case scenario, the new emerging order would simply unleash Iran and make it Russia and China's main partner in the region. I won't go on here because we're a little short on time, but it is interesting. The U.S. being the former power of the unipolar world system and breaking apart into a multipolar world, Israel stuck in that middle ground kind of, where, hey, the world powers are shifting a little bit. Do we stick with the U.S.? Do we hop on this wagon over here, this new shiny wagon that the China and Russia are putting together? And I
mean, it's kind of a smart play, honestly.
I know, especially because of the Iran situation, right? Like,
might not like it or agree with it or whatever, but as far as their own national interests are concerned, it might be the smartest thing to sit back for a second,
just to wait for a moment. And just to tie a bow on this with the eschatological views, I always recommend this book, but I think it's just so well written. False Christ, Will the Antichrist Claim to be the Jewish Messiah by Chris White. And of course, he argues that the Antichrist, as the scriptures describe him, will be a sort of fake messianic fulfillment that the Jews have been waiting for. They've been waiting for this conquering Messiah to defend Israel and restore Israel. And so in that regard, you look at, and Chris does a great job of tying Mystery Babylon to eschatological Jerusalem, like the end time city of Jerusalem. And it talks about the city, or the harlot, fornicating with the kings of the world. And you look at what the Israel situation, and it's very fascinating because it's like, oh, you've been fornicating with the U.S. for a while now. Are you going to go fornicate? Are you going to go cheat on the U.S.? Are you going to go hang out with Russia and China because it's the new shiny, the new whatever? Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting parallel with everything going on, that even with all these changes, there's a context to be had with Bible prophecy.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, what other option would there be? Of course it is. Of course.
Yeah, especially Israel, right? I mean, there's so much going on there.
Yeah. Well, Gons, you know what else is a big of course?
What is of course?
It's Monday.
Carey, what day is it? Monday.
Woo.
That's right. It's Monday again, folks, and we're happy to be here, and we're happy that you're here with us. Whether you're here live or listening on the RSS feed, means a lot. You've got lots of options for your news analysis and deconstruction, and we're glad you're spending it with us. Gons, did anything exciting happen over the weekend for you?
No. I forget. No. There was something I was going to mention.
A hesitant no.
Because there was something I was going to mention, but I totally forget now. So it probably wasn't that exciting. And yeah.
Well, I thought I had something exciting too, but I don't. But I think we should take this opportunity to put out some
exclusive
good news. Some fun news, and I will start with the bad news.
Okay,
and then I'll give you the good news.
All right.
How about that?
That sounds good.
Okay, so here's the bad news, folks. And if you are a regular tuner-inner, this is important. This Friday, what is the date on this Friday, Gons? What is it going to be? The 8th? It's the 8th. Yes, Friday the 8th. We will not have a live broadcast of Canary Cry News Talk. And there's a couple of reasons for this, Gons. I don't know how much you want to go into it.
Oh, it's my father-in-law's memorial service is taking place. So hanging out with family and doing that whole thing.
Of course. But, and it's time you deserve to take off. You work hard, and of course we want to let you spend the time with your family that you need. Now, here's the exciting part of that, folks.
Yeah, the timing of this all is so strange, isn't it?
The timing is incredible. It's almost as if there's some sort of divine creator who sort of uses the bad things for good outcomes as well, and for his own popularity, which we loved to see. On Sunday, April 10th, so that is this upcoming Sunday, we will be doing a live broadcast at about 12:30 in the afternoon. Now, this is not Easter Sunday.
No, it's Palm Sunday, actually.
Thank you. Geez, why could I not remember it? It's Palm Sunday this Sunday, so it's not usually something, a day that we would plan on doing the show, but it just so happened that an opportunity came up to do a live show on the No Agenda stream, which is very exciting. Yes, they have a live stream running 24/7. No Agenda will record and do their show on Sunday morning like they always have. And we got an opportunity to take the next primetime spot on Sunday afternoon over there at what's the link? NoAgendaStream.com.
Yeah, we'll share all the links out especially as it gets close to the time of going live. But
exactly,
this is a one-time thing. I don't think this is a recurring, but it is a special occasion.
As of now, this of course is not a permanent change in schedule, but we are excited to have the opportunity. We're very grateful to No Agenda Stream for inviting us to do that, or allowing us to do that. So bad news is no show on Friday, but we will be doing a live show on Sunday, which you can tune in for, and plenty of spots there, including noagendastream.com. And we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming on Monday.
Yeah,
so there you go. Just a little hiccup for a little day off for Gons, but also we'll make up for it on Sunday and back to normal on Monday.
We should do an over-under on whether or not Adam Curry will actually mention the full title of the show at the end, right before we go live.
Or will remember us whatsoever. Yeah, we should. There's lots of fun opportunities for that. So, yeah. Well, we'll give you guys more details as we get closer. Obviously, that will simply just be Wednesday's show. And we'll tweet out all the details, things like that. And with that, Gons, I think it's time that we thank our executive producer for today's show.
Executive producers. Oh, we got a few more than I thought here. Yeah.
Well, we got one.
Oh, we got one?
Executive producers.
That's right. We're on the value for value model, folks. And people who support the show, putting value back in, have an opportunity to become an executive producer of the show by showing how much value that they receive from the show by putting it back in. And we have one executive producer for the day, which... Yeah, which I mean is exciting. It's better than when we have 0.
Well,
I mean,
for some reason I thought there was 3. So, but it's okay.
That was from last episode.
Okay.
Yes, and our executive producer for today is. Wait, let me make sure I do it correctly. Stefan, that's what it is. Stefan S.
Stefan
Thank you very
S.
much.
Thank you very much. He's an executive producer, huh?
Yeah.
Where'd you find this?
And so thank you very much, Stefan S. And, there's something about I hate to sound like a broken record, but producership is still lingering. There's room for improvement in general. So if you're out there and you would like to become a producer of the show, again, take personal responsibility for the continuation of independent media, true independent media, devoid of any corporate money or corporate incentives. Please consider becoming a producer of the show. You can do that by heading over to patreon.com/ccnt, or even better, canarycryradio.com/support.
canarycryradio.com/support.
That's right. And like I said, there's still time. We'll be thanking the rest of the producers in our first break. And of course, we have a note and more from our executive producer, Stefan S. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And with that, Gons, you know who I got to remember to remind that we'll not be doing a Friday show, because it could really mess up his schedule. And that's our good friend, Flippy.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. Time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and just how there's nothing we can do about it. We got an interesting take on the Flippy update here today, Gons, and I'm hoping that you will take my hand and let me lead you down this this exploration.
Oh, you have a flying
Flippy
carpet?
Through the ages. Yes, a whole new robot. This so it's a Flippy in 2 parts. And we're starting over here at Futurism.com.
Oh.
And we are tuning in, not with Flippy proper, but with Spot. Spot, the sort of dystopian robo-dog that is cute and cuddly, but also has a penchant for enslaving humanity in all sorts of nasty ways. This is coming from, like I said, Futurism.com. The headline is China straps loudspeakers to robot dog so it can scream at people to stay home, just in case they still didn't get the message. Now, this will not come as a surprise to you Flippy veterans. We all throughout the pandemic where robots were suddenly put into pseudo law enforcement positions because it was just too dangerous for a human to tell you to stay in your house. And this was, but like we love to remember, history, may not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So a little update here. A robot dog in Shanghai, China, surprise, surprise, is roaming the streets, barking COVID-19 safety instructions through a loudspeaker crudely strapped to its back amid one of the tightest lockdowns the city has faced since the beginning of the pandemic. Videos widely circulating online show the small black quadruped scuttling down an empty city street while blaring out instructions via a megaphone loosely slung around its back with what appears to be black and yellow caution tape.
So lazy. Come on, China. Get a little more of a presentation there if you're going to do the dystopian
It is the funniest
robots.
part because... Yeah, of course we know Spot here from Boston Dynamics is, I don't know if this is actually officially Spot, but it's a robot dog.
I thought China had their own.
Known. They do. That's why it's not. This is not Boston Dynamics, but we're going to call him Spot anyways. these robot dogs are known and designed to be highly modular. You're supposed to be able to put an arm on it if you need an arm, put a gun on it if you need a gun, put a sensor array or a drone launch platform. These are all things that the dog is designed to accommodate. But apparently there's no megaphone attachment, so they just had to kind of tape one onto its back, which it just shows a sort of speed and haste at which they needed to yell at people for leaving their homes.
The idea of, here are the robot dogs. Does it bark? Oh no, we forgot to.
Oh no, we forgot the speaker. Quick,
strap one on.
The article continues. A dystopian nightmare or a cute demonstration of public health tech? We'll let you decide on that one. Then they got a video here you can play. Shanghai is currently facing one of its most serious waves of confirmed cases of COVID yet. The city has been in full lockdown since the end of March, with a new subvariant of the Omicron variant driving a spike in illness. Robot dogs aren't the only machines patrolling the streets here. Chinese officials have also reportedly used drones that also told residents to stay at home, according to the Times. According to Reuters, residents aren't even allowed to leave their homes to take out their trash. Despite the strict lockdown measures, Shanghai reported less than 8,000 asymptomatic cases. That is weird. What are you laughing at?
While looking at the video of the thing, and the backward bending knees makes it look more like a bug, but also it looks very janky.
It is a janky one
with the megaphone strapped on. I mean, it looks like I can hop in a Humvee and just run it over. That's what I would
probably don't even need a Humvee. You could do it with a Kia Sportage. Despite the strict lockdown measures, Shanghai, and also that's robo hate. You can't talk. You can't threaten robots anymore. Okay.
Robo road rage. Yeah.
If you know what's good for you, you should not threaten these robots. I can only stand up for you for so long after I've won
I didn't say you.
The robot.
I didn't say I am going to do it, or you should do it. I'm saying
Hans, I've only gotten so much pull with these robots, man. Despite the strict lockdown measures, Shanghai reported less than 8,000 asymptomatic cases and 438 symptomatic cases on April 3rd, a far cry from much more severe past outbreaks of COVID in other parts of the world.
It's turning into COVID.
I know. Well, see, hold on. One last paragraph. Whether a robot dog with a loudspeaker will prevent those numbers from rising exponentially remains to be seen, but we'll wager a guess and say it won't exactly have a very big impact, if any. And I think we would agree. It's not necessarily the impact on COVID that is the most valuable part to the technocratic hive mind future dystopian societal structure. It is the very fact of programming people to obey a robot, obey a little dog with a megaphone strapped to its back that has the highest potential for benefiting the future technocracy, technocratic dystopia. So, quick point to make here, and keep this in mind as we hit our next story. We've talked about the future of the technocracy and what the world can look like. And China has always been a wonderful example of the exact future that we are talking about.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to COVID, where we repeat over and over that at any moment they can flip the switch and turn on the COVID frenzy again, try to control our lives again, whether it's with humans or with robots.
And it seems like with every iteration of the lockdown, another COVID outbreak, they're going to release more robots into the streets.
More
to
severe.
monitor
Everybody. Exactly.
So
So what we are looking at here on this article is a potential reflection of our future and the role that the robot dog is playing.
You're saying the future in the West. Because this is reality for China here.
Because it's the current reality in China, but we're talking about our future in the West. Over here, next article, UPI.com. Headline, Robot Dog patrolling the ruins of ancient Italian city Pompeii.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Okay.
Officials in Italy say they have enlisted the service of a robot dog to patrol the ancient ruins of the city of Pompeii with the mechanical quadruped's duties, including identifying safety issues and finding tunnels created by thieves.
Wow.
I did not know this was a problem in Pompeii, but apparently they have the mole people are looting it for its riches. The Pompeii Archaeological Park announced Spot, a dog-like robot developed by U.S. firm Boston Dynamics, is now wandering the ancient ruins of the city, which was destroyed by a volcanic eruption nearly 2,000 years ago. The park said Spot's duties include inspecting the ancient buildings for dangerous structural issues.
I would imagine the robot running into one of the walls is much more dangerous to the structural integrity of ancient buildings than
Spot would never
people.
do that. Assessing the progress of restoration work and identifying and inspecting tunnels created by relic thieves.
Wow.
Quote, often the safety conditions within the tunnels dug by grave robbers are extremely precarious. And so the use of a robot could signify a breakthrough that would allow us to proceed with greater speed and in total safety, said some guy whose name I can't pronounce. The robot is the latest in a series of efforts to improve conditions at the park, which was cited by the UN Educational, Scientific, and Cultural
there it is, the UN.
Organization.
The UN rolling out robot dogs.
Right.
To patrol ancient sites. Okay.
And Pompeii's in peril. So not only do you have robot dogs patrolling the streets in an example of what our possible dystopian technocratic medical tyranny future is, but we've also got robot dogs patrolling the site of an ancient historical apocalypse. I mean, the Pompeii is like the most prescient example of how a force of God, a volcano, can wipe out an entire civilization. So you've got the apocalypse of the future, and you've got the apocalypse of the past, and robots are patrolling both of them. I found this in the on the cork board, connecting the dots with the red yarn, and the frenzied explanation of how these robots are wiggling their way into our lives. The message is received. News. I've got the message. The robot dogs are in the apocalypse of the past, the apocalypse of the future. They are ever present in the dystopian or apocalyptic destruction of society as we know it. And you know what, Gons? When the robots speak, you better listen, because they're telling you what's up right now.
It's all coming together.
There you go. Any thoughts, fears, regrets, anything you'd like to add to this?
Buying Boston Dynamics stock when we first started looking at it in 2013. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think you covered it well there.
I think we got it. I think it's a very powerful message, and that's why we bring to you the Flippy updates, because these are the types of things we need to pay attention to, as if we didn't have enough things going on. That is your Flippy update for the day.
Very good. And yeah, we'd like to do this despite whatever else is going on in every episode, because the progress is still happening, whether or not you're paying attention to it or not. And we try to pay attention to the things.
The relentless march of robots through time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're coming for you.
They're coming. Okay. Let's talk about... Oh, what is going on with my system? I always have problems.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about a party. Canary Cry Party.
Party time.
Find the live stream, clips, email lists, text notifications, street team posters, show notes, ways to connect with other Canarians, and how to become a producer.
Welcome to Canary Cry Party. It's the place you wanna be. So stay. Welcome to Canary Cry. Gameplay, Canary Cry Party.
That's right. Go check it out. All sorts of resources, and you'll see all of our streaming locations for when YouTube inevitably gets just half of the broadcast today. I want to take a second and let everybody know about Ravel. Ravel is a podcast that I do with Dr. Christopher Ryan Gates, very smart biblical man, theologian. What was I trying to say there? He's PhD in biblical interpretation.
Man.
He's a biblical man, and now he's a biblical father. So we're so excited about that. Yes, and go check out Ravel. It's on all the podcast players, apparently except Stitcher. And we just are wrapping up our last interview with our Artists On section. Series rather. We had a interview with Elliot Morgan, who is a writer and a comedian and does all sorts of deep thinking type things. He's a cool guy, fun guy, and he grew up in the church. We discuss his journey in and out and possibly back into the church, but also talk about comedy and God and society and all sorts of good stuff. Really good interview. Go check it out. Just dropped today. And again, apologies for the late drop, but there's babies now, man. We got all my co-hosts have babies, and what am I supposed to do about it? Anywho, go check it out. Ravel on all your podcast players. There's two podcasts called Ravel. The other one explicitly stole our name, but ours is the one with the cool logo and my name on it. So go check it out. And while you're at it, go subscribe to the Canary Cry Clips channel. That's right. Clips of the show are being created by our Clippies, our human Clippies, who are working very hard to clip out every show, present and past and probably future if everything goes right, and make shorter segments of the show available without all the riffraff. So it's a great way to review pieces of the show. It's a great way to share the show, and it's a great way to let people know that we exist without expecting them to make it all the way through one of our long podcasts. Canary Cry Clips on YouTube and Odyssey, and of course, last but not least, join our what is it called? Text message alert system. A lot of people have trouble catching the show because we've been basically black bagged. None of our notifications really go out anymore. So if you want notifications so you never miss a live broadcast, text the word canary to the number 877-740-3226. Canary to 877-740-3226. Okay, Gons, that's it. And I hope people enjoy receiving text messages from me. When you get one, you can go, wow, Basil texted me. And it will be true. I write them all myself.
Poly. It's Latin for many. Tick. Now suck your blood. Now suck politics.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs.
For those of you watching, you were privy to the new POLYTICKS jingle. Thank you, Faye Liverin. We'll be thanking you properly later on. It was fantastic.
Jingle animation.
Jingle animation. What did I say? Jingle video?
You just said jingle, but it's okay. Yes, it's Faye Liverin has continued to increase the production value of the live stream. We're so excited. The new animation was for the POLYTICKS jingle, and it is chock-a-block full of the portraits from Dame Allie. They have been put to use in an amazing display.
Incredible. I love this.
Jingly animation. Thank you, Faye Liverin, and I'm so glad that we got a nice display of Allie's portraits there.
Yep.
I like in the animation, it's mostly all politicians and like other lizard people, and then the rooster is there
the
too.
Rooster's there. Well,
the lizard person
is the most diplomatically successful of all the animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What do you got for us?
So we're going to start with thehill.com here. And the headline, Biden's absolute defense of Hunter leaves media and Justice Department in a muddle. Leaves them in a muddle.
Doesn't it?
Muddle. Quote,
that's a weird thing to say, but okay.
quote, "We absolutely stand by the president's comments," end quote. With those words, White House Communication Director Kate Bedingfield reaffirmed that President Biden maintains his son Hunter Biden did, quote, "nothing that was unethical and never, quote, made money in China." I thought the whole thing was Ukraine, but okay. All right. Those claims appear demonstrably false, and they make the position of both the media and Attorney General Merrick Garland absolutely untenable. For the media,
they really say demonstrably false?
Yeah, those claims appear demonstrably false.
Yeah, there's a couple things in there that they could get away with saying.
Right.
He said he never made money in China.
In China.
Okay. All right. I'm willing to concede perhaps his feet were not in China. He was not standing
in a motel in the U.S.
within the borders of China when he made the money. Yes, he was in a Motel 6 in the U.S. when the money was deposited into his account. Okay.
Yeah, interesting use of language here. Those claims appear demonstrably false, and they make the positions of the media and Attorney General Merrick Garland absolutely untenable. For the media, the ongoing investigation of Hunter Biden by U.S. Attorney David Weiss in Delaware has presented a growing danger of self-indictment over its prior coverage or non-coverage. Weiss has called a long line of witnesses before a grand jury, and there is growing expectation of criminal charges against Hunter Biden. Nothing concentrates the mind as much as a looming incident. Thus, the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, and other media faced the embarrassing prospect of an indictment based on a story they previously suggested was either a non-story or Russian disinformation. Suddenly, in recent days, they all rushed to declare the story legitimate, 18 months after the New York Post reported it in October 2020. What quickly emerged, though, was a new narrative. None of this implicates President Biden. On CNN, White House correspondent John Harwood declared, quote, "There is zero evidence that Vice President Biden or President Biden has done anything wrong in connection with what Hunter Biden has done." Anchor Brian Kaler then added for emphasis that Harwood was making, quote, "an important distinction. It was important, but not because it was true." While many media figures now willingly admit the legitimacy of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop story, they are avoiding what the emails found on that laptop actually contain. Hundreds of emails appear to detail a multi-million-dollar influence peddling enterprise by the Biden family, including Hunter Biden and his uncle James Biden. Influence peddling has long been the way Washington elites enriches itself. This common source of political corruption involves the relatives of powerful government figures who shake down corporations or countries for access and influence. The Bidens would seem to be standouts in this common practice, engaging in a virtual family business. James Biden has been accused of marketing his connection to his brother, and in the emails discovered on the abandoned laptop, Hunter Biden practically sold timeshares of his father by dangling meetings and dinners for investors. The key in any influence peddling scheme is to protect the principal. People apparently were told to avoid directly referring to President Biden. In one email, Tony Bobulinski, then a business partner of Hunter's, was instructed by Biden associate James Gilliar not to speak of the former Veep's connection to any transactions. Quote, "Don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid." I thought we already knew all this stuff, kind of on the fringes from
a year ago.
We did, but I guess the general public is.
This is a lot of people's first time hearing this stuff.
Instead, the emails apparently refer to President Biden with code names such as Celtic or the Big Guy. In one, the Big Guy is discussed as possibly receiving a 10% cut on a deal with the Chinese energy firm. Other emails reportedly refer to Hunter Biden paying portions of his father's expenses and taxes. Despite President Biden's repeated claims he knew nothing about these dealings, Bobulinski has said he personally met with the senior Biden to discuss Hunter Biden's business activities. Bobulinski had been selected by the family to handle these deals. I remember that press conference. It was just like in some hotel meeting room. And he was like holding up a phone, and he was like, "I got it all here. I got all the messages with Hunter. It's all here." As Vice President Joe Biden flew to China on Air Force Two with Hunter Biden, who arranged for his father to meet some of the business interests. Hunter Biden's financial interest in a Chinese-backed investment firm, BHR Partners, was registered within weeks of that 2013 trip. Yet, President Biden repeatedly insisted that he never discussed such dealings with his son, a claim Hunter Biden has contradicted. There are emails of Ukraine and other foreign clients thanking Hunter Biden for arranging meetings with his father. There are photos from dinners and meetings that tie President Biden to these figures, including a 2015 dinner with a group of Hunter Biden's Russian and Kazakh clients. Goes on here. I don't necessarily need to read the entire thing. Let's see.
Did you watch that recent interview that Hunter Biden did
No.
with some blonde chick? I'm looking
some
for it
blonde
now.
chick.
I thought I had sent it to you, but I'm having a
Maybe was it one of those? Was it recent or was it one of those like near recent, like a few weeks ago, a few months ago, maybe a couple months?
You know, I thought it was really recent. Yeah, I thought so, but it was. You know, I don't have enough details. It might not even be worth talking about. But he was being asked, and she was doing a good job of at least appearing like she was asking him the hard questions. And one of the lines really killed me in it because he was getting like frustrated, which was not a good look. Like this was obviously a part of his PR, you know, sort of comeback campaign. And he was doing a really bad job. He was getting defensive and kind of like his dad, you know, when both those Bidens apparently have the habit of just like getting mean.
Mad.
Yeah, when like getting faced with tough questions, just this like obstinance of like, I can't even believe you would ask me this.
Keep yapping, man. Think minority.
Yeah. One of his, questions was talking about the money in Ukraine and was this unethical, and he gets all mean looking and he goes, God, I just did what I did, but nothing I did was out of some sort of unethical principle. I would never be unethical. And it's like, bro, it's like not even conspiracy theory. Seeing the pictures of you in the bathtub and the crack pipes and the this and the that. I mean, you can't say you've ever done anything unethical, my man. That is not a solid defense. You've quite obviously done some unethical things. And so a little bit less on the indignant, I think will read a little better in the interview. Anyway, it's better. I'm going to keep looking for it. You continue.
I don't know. I mean, there's not much else to really talk about other than, it just mentions the conflict of interest there and the political bias that may enter into this whole investigation and how, some of these guys are saying, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. But it's interesting because it's only one line of attack here. I think nearing the elections now, this is kind of a problem for the Democrats, but they're doing a good job of sort of just letting it kind of be there. But I mean, I don't know. In the context of the political race in the U.S., it's an interesting story to keep tabs on because it obviously was used.
I love it
in the last elections, and it'll be interesting to see how it's used in this one.
Yeah, and they're just sticking with the deny, but not deny the evidence.
Right.
They don't even address the evidence or the laptop. Still no denial about the laptop or its contents. None of that. It's just the talking point is, I did nothing unethical. My son did nothing unethical. And
but his whole definition of unethical is certainly not what the majority of the population considers
lizard
unethical.
People have their own version of what ethical means, so we need to keep the pressure on it.
Speaking of ethical, who's been running on the ethics part of the campaign?
We will launch a new age.
Mr. Trump. He's back.
Oh, is he ethical now?
He's ethical. He's this whole campaign is based on the ethical nature of Trump.
Okay,
hard
tell
to say.
me about
hard
it.
to say. Okay, so this is from his rally from Washington, Michigan, and here's what he said.
And just to cover it quickly, because I don't want to take a lot of time, but it's coming out, this Truth to Vote, where they found all the thousands and thousands of ballot harvesters. You've seen that. Truth to Vote, when you see that, that's coming out in 2 weeks. When you see those numbers, I think it's 4 or 5 million people cheating. Those numbers are coming out. Now, the press hates like hell to cover it. Oh, and they go crazy because they have a lot of live television. I'm talking about this. They don't know what to do. They're saying, should we turn off the cameras? Who cares? But right here, just quickly, in Michigan, your corrupt state official sent out 7.7 million unsolicited mail-in ballot applications to everyone on the rolls, including people that were dead and those who no longer live in the state. Other than that, it was wonderful. How many people got more than one? Actually, you wouldn't have that many. No, the Democrats got a lot more than one. But even you have a lot more than one. No, it's crazy. When you hear mail-in ballot, you can guarantee you have a corrupt election.
You know, we were talking in the last couple episodes about the convenience of bringing up the Q conversation for the midterm elections coming up here. But isn't it weird how Trump is kind of leaning into that too? Again, I mean, with more, it feels like he has more ammo. He was saying all the same stuff, a couple years ago, but now he's like, oh, the evidence is coming. It sounds Q-ish.
Well, that's the interesting timing of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is because, I mean, essentially everybody wants to bring the Q, if not the specifics of Q, at least trigger the sort of the mania of Q. Yeah, they want the mania, yeah. Trump wants it because it fires up his machine, his media machine and grassroots social media, whatever. And the media, the corporate news loves it because everybody wants to hear more about the crazy Q people.
Yeah.
And the Democrats want it because it gives them an enemy, a really nice enemy.
I think they realized how much money they made off of Trump hate. And they're like, in the last couple of years, they're like, well, trying to keep the puppet of Biden up is way harder than just hating on Trump. Maybe we should have this guy back in office.
It's an incredibly profitable thing to have floating around. I do got to say, man, Trump is, you can tell that he has fun up there, man.
He does. Yeah, no, he's a good time.
I miss that. He has a lot of fun up there. I mean, you take it for what you will, but after sitting through Biden's whatever they gotta hop him up with to get him up there, he just doesn't want to be there. Yeah. Nothing. The way he talks, what he says, he doesn't want to be there. Trump loves being up there, and he's pretty good at it.
Well, the point about the mainstream media loving Trump and kind of needing him to be around to have a target, an enemy. This article from Newsweek here kind of seems to lean in that direction. The headline is January 6th committee pushing for Trump's prosecution could backfire. Newsweek? Really? You're saying it can backfire? As a House Select Committee continues to look into the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, some legal experts believe a criminal referral from Congress to the Department of Justice regarding former President Donald Trump could have negative results. On Monday, a former member of the Obama administration told Politico that he believes such a move could actually backfire and make the Justice Department's work on any such case even more difficult. This comes after a ruling last week from U.S. District Court Judge David Carter, who wrote that the former president, more likely than not, committed a felony when he attempted to illegally obstruct Congress on January 6, 2021. Ronald Wyke, a law professor at the University of Baltimore and a former assistant attorney general in the Justice Department during the Obama administration, told Politico that if the January 6th committee issued a criminal referral against Trump, it would only complicate things, adding politics into the mix. Quote, a former criminal referral from Congress in this situation could backfire. The Justice Department's charging decisions should not be influenced by political pressure, and that's how this might look. A referral could make it harder for the Justice Department to prosecute, Wyke said. Wyke is not only a legal expert to hold such an opinion, and it goes on and talks about other people. But yeah, interesting. In the 4 years of just anything to take down, just anything to take this guy down. Now that we got the committee, the January 6th committee, saying like, "Hey, we can get him on criminal charges," and they're like, don't do that. We need him.
Don't do that.
We need him back. We can't have him go to jail because then we're gonna run out of material.
As if that's even possible.
Oh, that's not gonna even be.
He's much more useful to literally everyone. To have him out of jail.
To the New World Order, too, by the way.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
You found this.
If you
HuffPost.
want, I found the video.
Okay.
It's kind of a long video, but I think I have the timestamp to get the best part of it. I don't know if you want to watch the whole thing, but go to 6:25 or something, right around there.
Okay.
I think that will lead into the funniest part.
I'm
of
just
the
trying
whole thing.
to see if this thing will even load. I'm waiting for it to load.
Oh
fully here.
no!
Yeah, slow
Load!
internet.
Come on, Huffington Post.
Okay, here we go. Is it in that tweet?
I had it all the way. That should do it. Yeah, maybe try the tweet. There's a video all the way down at the bottom, but that tweet
It was a 43-second tweet.
Yeah, let's do the tweet. Do that one. That's easier.
Okay, let's see here. Let me just back it up to the beginning, and here is Hunter Biden talking.
No, in retrospect, look, I think that it was poor judgment on my part. Is that I think that it was poor judgment because I don't believe now, when I look back on it, I know that did nothing wrong at all. However, was it poor judgment to be in the middle of something that is it's a swamp in many ways?
A swamp?
Yeah, and so I take full responsibility for that. Did I do anything improper? No, not in any way whatsoever.
So
I joined the board. I served honorably. I focused on corporate governance. I didn't have any discussions with my father before or after I joined the board as it related to it, other than that brief exchange that we had.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Other than when I did. Dang, that is not the good part. That's not the part where he gets angry. Of course, ABC would not
I was gonna say,
put him
probably
on blast like that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we want to spend too much time on it, but if you want it, we could try the 625 down.
Okay, let me
down
see
there.
here. The 620.
Let's get to that exclusive.
Okay, 625.
With Hunter Biden, the son of former Vice President Joe Biden.
Where is the time?
He's right here.
Yeah.
We saw you in those photos getting off of Air Force Two with your daughter, with your father. You were there.
Everywhere with my daughter. And I went there because my daughter was on the trip too.
Did you talk about China or your deal with China?
No.
A 12-hour flight over?
No, of course not.
That never came up?
No.
Your father did shake hands with Mr. Lee, though, correct, in the lobby of that hotel?
I don't remember, but probably. Yeah, I hope so. I hope he did. He was my friend.
Jonathan Lee.
Yeah, for almost 13 years.
He was your friend and your business partner.
But I understand. So really, Amy, whether I'm in New York or whether I'm in Washington, D.C., a friend and a business associate is in the hotel, and my dad's staying there. Is it inappropriate for me to have coffee with them? I don't
so that
find
meeting
anything
was
wrong.
not a mistake. It was not unethical.
100% not. No.
What do you say to people who believe this is exactly why people hate Washington? A vice president's son can make money in countries where your father is doing official government business.
Well, I don't know.
Who says it?
I made a mistake.
You ever been on the internet, buddy? Maybe he's busy doing something else.
He's getting mad. He's just getting mad at her for the very idea that somebody would disagree with his actions.
Who says this? I don't know. Like
nobody says
millions of people on the internet.
Who says that it's wrong for a vice president's son to illegally benefit from his father's name? Who says this?
It's
Nobody
funny
I know
because
says this.
Even this is from 2019. Wow, this is really old. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Even the clip that the ABC tried to highlight of him is chock full of contradictions. I'm fully accountable. I admit to doing something. But I'm not doing anything wrong. But I admit to doing. But I don't even know what he's trying to say. It's like, whoa, dude.
I know, and he's getting angry. I'm sorry. This is from 2019. That is funny.
Yeah, it's old.
It came across my my feed there, and I was like, oh, that's a great one. But yeah, I did not know it's that old. But that's hilarious. I mean, that shows just how long this has been going on. All right, let's just keep moving with the show. What do we got? Oh yes.
5G kills humans.
5G. There's a new commercial that Verizon put together featuring Jim Carey. And I have the commercial here. When I clipped it,
the illuminated master himself.
Right. The original clip here was 1 minute and 33 seconds. I think when I cut it, it was 1 minute 32. But whatever. Here it is.
Okay.
Cable guy.
No thanks. I don't need cable. I have Verizon 5G internet.
5G internet? Never heard of it.
5G ultra wideband, it's way better.
Oh, I see. So somehow your home is connected to the information superhighway on Verizon's ultra-fast 5G network wirelessly.
Yeah.
Magically beaming powerful invisible internet into some sorcerer's box without miles and miles of this. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Wait. Can I see it?
Sure.
Small white cube.
Ooh.
All the occult symbols. It's a
I
small
love
white
the
cube.
idea.
Yeah.
I love the idea that in some marketing meeting, some PR firm hired for millions of dollars
right.
To make
How
a
are we gonna
commercial.
pitch 5G to the next generation?
The cable guy is like a 20
No, it was like a
20-year-old movie.
Oh, it's got to be 19 something.
Yeah, it's like 25-year-old movie, something like that. That's hilarious. Nobody under the age of, I don't know, 35 or so has even seen that film in 20 years.
1996.
Okay. 1996.
1996.
Wow. What is that? 26 years ago.
I was 13 years old. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. Old.
Okay.
Moment of
maybe
reflection.
Maybe they're trying to get the 40-year-old millennials on board. That's their whole thing.
Well, let's keep going here. There's a little bit more. This is only halfway through the commercial here.
Oh my.
They must have locked you into quite a contract.
Nope.
Hidden fees?
I love those.
Nope. Price is the price.
This may be illegal, and you could spend time in a correctional facility. I'm going to need to know who installed this.
Me. It's plug and play. But you can have Verizon install it.
Verizon
Nice man. Well, let me juice you up at work.
Got one at my shop too. Runs my business.
Reception's good. But I'll come back tomorrow and double check.
No, I don't think we'll need you to come.
No. I'm sorry. I can't hear you. I have my fingers in my ears. No.
The internet is going ultra, introducing 5G.
That is a long commercial.
It's a minute and a half. It's a long commercial. Here's what I think is going on here. It's part of an appeal to that next generation, but also it's kind of like an insult to the cable guy generation. I guess that would be my generation, who grew up with cables and all this kind of stuff. We can't keep up because we tend to be the generation that's like 5G is going to kill everybody. You know, that whole conspiracy seems to be, they probably did some like, some kind of survey or whatever to find out what population are really against 5G or whatever. And they decided to go with something like this to make fun of those people.
There's also, I'm starting to turn on it. It's starting to make more sense now. I take back my earlier criticism, is that, because if you remember the movie, The Cable Guy, it's, he's sort of in this position of power as the cable guy, and he wields that power to sort of terrorize the people who depend on him for their TV, and he can give out rewards and take the cable guy taketh, or cable guy giveth and taketh away type of thing. And he's insane, but you still have to deal with him or else you don't get TV. And it is a very powerful message when you're talking about the messaging of, old world versus new world.
Information dissemination.
We're all sort of hyper aware of big corporations, abusing us because we have no other choice, especially telecommunications famously is sort of the whole industry is in this sort of legal monopoly situation where there's price fixing and all the telecommunication companies are in league with each other and things like this. So it's an allusion back to, the cable guy, how things used to be where they would just abuse you and spy on you and mess with you, but not with 5G. 5G will set you free.
Right. That's what Verizon is pushing. Yeah. I installed it myself. So, it runs my business. It does everything for me. It's not Verizon. It's me. I'm doing it. Yeah.
It's this illusion of independence from the sort of corporate lizard overlords.
Right.
when, of course, we know that is exactly that, simply an illusion.
Yeah, the Verizon guy, he's just a helpful guy with the van that helps you install it if you need it. You know, they're not a mega corporation controlling all of the communication infrastructure in the U.S. and the world.
They're not. Of course, they're not spying on you, and of course, you're not getting cooked alive by invisible radio frequencies. Well, who needs those darn cables when you could have magic flowing through the air and frying your brain?
Just to throw back, there was a paper that was published by the National Institute of Health, the National Library of Medicine. It was a paper published on September of 2021, titled "Evidence for a Connection Between Coronavirus Disease 19 and Exposure to Radio Frequency Radiation from Wireless Communications, Including 5G." And it made the case that SARS-CoV-2, the virus that caused COVID-19 pandemic, surfaced in Wuhan shortly after the implementation of citywide fifth-generation 5G of wireless communication radiation and rapidly spread globally, initially demonstrating a statistical correlation to international communities with recently established 5G networks. And, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, very interesting. Well, I went back because, it's one of those things you kind of just take a look every once in a while to see if there's any updates. There were a bunch of reviews that were done of this study, and there's commentary on the reviews. And I highlighted a couple of them.
It seems like something that would be in the crosshairs of the debunkers.
Right. So there's a bunch of reviewers. Most of them came in with it's interesting. You might need to rephrase some of the way you described some of the stuff. Like this first one, in conclusion, while the effects of RF and changes observed in COVID patients seem to overlap at some specific conditions of exposure, and given that the RF effects depend on number of physical and biological variables, more stringent retrieval of RF studies is needed to discuss possible connection of 5G exposure and COVID pandemia. Otherwise, this connection should be significantly downplayed, and the text should be revised accordingly. So it's one of those things where they acknowledge that there is a connection, but they keep saying we need more study. We need more.
That was the part about it. Yeah, none of the reviewers, of which there were many.
There's many.
And many people and industries and companies had, the incentive to sort of straight up debunk it. None of them really would or could. They're like, we don't like how you said it. I mean, we can't argue with the data and the correlations, but can you just tone it down just a little bit, please? Do some more studies. Just turn the volume down a bit.
Yeah, reviewer 8 was probably the most interesting. I won't read the whole thing, just a little part here. He says, this paper delves into the facet of COVID-19 and the evolving use of the widespread release of 5G into the environment and the relationship between the two. This relationship has rarely been studied in the literature. That alone seems to make this paper relatively significant. It also provides evidence that the precautionary principle would call for more study before continuing the widespread deployment of 5G towers across the world, as well as the release of satellites that are envisioned to surround the planet. While bringing internet access to the world's population seems to be a good thing, parenthetical, and providing information to the societies that lack it now, we need to consider the law of unintended consequences. The plans are for 5G to blanket the world, leaving no place without this new exposure to this microwave and milliwave radiation, and potentially affecting all life on Earth, with the exception of beings that live in lead-lined shelters or Faraday cages. Based on this paper alone, it indicates the need for further study before this is widely deployed. So they all admit there's something to this, which is, not insignificant, I would say, for a paper like this that has all the trigger words in the title of the paper from the NIH themselves about the coronavirus disease 19 and 5G. So links in the description.
The statistical overlaps that exist there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, take that, Jim Carey. Which is pretty funny because actually with his new sort of woo-woo thing that he's all sort of guru'd out recently, I'm pretty sure I've seen him speak out against 5G before, or at least sort of allude to.
These actors can flip on a dime, literally. They can flip on a dime.
All it takes is a dime, yeah. All right, well, speaking of flipping on a dime, Gons, I think it's time to take a second and thank some producers.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
That's right, folks. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because after the break, we've got a bunch more show. And just a quick little reminder, YouTube live broadcast viewers going to need to switch over to a new location soon. Just a heads up. But before that, I want to draw your attention, dear listener, to the fact that you have not seen a single advertisement on the show, before the show, during the show, no affiliate codes. In fact, no corporate money whatsoever, no partnerships of any kind. We are completely free from the strings of the lizard people overlords. And, you can't blame some independent people for getting a little wrapped up in the strings. It's easy to do. You're doing a show, you're trying to monetize, trying to do good work, and those emails just start flowing in, offering all sorts of wonderful incentives and programs that you can use to monetize your podcast. All you got to do is pick the brands that you want to advertise. We'll even let you turn down advertisements for banks and pharma companies if you want. But go ahead, take the money. Come on, take the money. We know you need it. And then people do. Sometimes they do. And when they do, they suddenly find themselves under the thumb of not just any particular corporation that maybe they don't like, but even more so under the spiritual oppressive force that blankets the earth, that is convincing and convinced itself that the most effective way to fund quality independent media, even if it is corporate news analysis and deconstruction, is to participate in a system that incentivizes creators like Gons and I to consider you, dear listener, not as a human being with hopes for the future, regrets of the past, and little joys and sorrows during the day that are beautiful in a way. No. You are then a commodity, which we need to focus, do anything we need to do to get more of that commodity, to collect those eyeballs, which come attached with trust and appreciation and attention. And then it's that attention and that trust that then gets sold off to the advertising companies for our own personal gain. If you're thinking that what I'm describing sounds like some dystopian future hellscape where the minds of human beings are sort of, mined, M-I-N-E-D, for some sort of economic purpose that does not benefit them, but only those at the top of a structure that seeks almost explicitly to exploit those beneath them for their own personal gain. Well, it's not a story. It's not a movie. It's really what's happening. And it's the advertising industry that makes it all happen. Yes, indeed. It's the justification for things like big data collection, privacy concerns, creating a cybernetic model of you, perhaps even a homunculi found in the ancient tomes of the magicians of the past, where your interests, your qualities, even your secret ones that you don't share on social media, they are compiled and constructed together to create some sort of lifeless, soulless version of you somewhere in the hive mind in the cloud. And then that is sold to companies as a way to subtly psychologically manipulate you into spending money you don't have on things you don't need, and being thankful for it in some sick way. Well, not here, folks. We don't participate in that. We believe that not only is that spiritually harmful for the world as a whole, but we don't want to subject our listeners to that. We just couldn't sleep at night. Instead, we're on the value for value model, which is simple. We create value. We do it 3 times a week. And if you find any value in the independent corporate news media deconstruction and analysis that we do on this show, if it brings you laughs, if it brings you to tears, if it brings you perhaps a perspective or pieces of knowledge that you have not had access to before or from any other location, that means you're getting value. You're getting value out of the show. And it's all of our personal responsibility to show and to tell and to scream from the rooftops to the leaders of this world that seek to oppress us even more, that we will not take it. So we take responsibility for the future of independent media, which is so at risk. And the people who produce this show, that is, put value back in, are members of that rebellion. And so we want to thank them now and here. And starting out, there's a couple ways to become a producer. If you don't know already, you can go to patreon.com/CCNT, or even better, you can go to canarycryradio.com/support.
canarycryradio.com/support.
That's right, Gons, and we're going to start out with our executive producer. Who is it?
Our executive producer. Well, let me do this real quick here, properly.
Okay.
Executive producers.
Our executive producer, who we thanked earlier, but we'll thank again. Stephen or Steven? Steven S. Stephen.
That's right. Stephen S. Thank you so much. No, Stefan's here. Thank you, Steven. And Stefan comes in with a whopping 133.32. Wow. Going to be a little rascal here. Throw us off the trail. Coming in with $133.32. Thank you very much, Stefan. And there's a note here. It says, "It is my birthday. For my Yippee birthday. It is my birthday. For my birthday, please translate the like and subscribe jingle. All I ever figured is, it says, is like, subscribe, robotus, all." But that doesn't make sense. Remember, it's pronounced Stefan. Okay, we got it. Stefan. Thank you very much. Yes, he told us right there. Guns, do you want to play the like, subscribe, robotus, all?
Like, subscribe, bell button, all. Like, subscribe, bell button, all.
It's like,
Yes.
subscribe, bell button, all.
Bell button.
Because
That's
if you're on
right.
YouTube, you click that bell button, and then you have the option to click all, and you should do that.
It's to turn on notifications.
Yes, turn on
you
all
like,
notifications.
you subscribe, you got to turn on all notifications. Well, there you go. Happy birthday. I'm happy that we could provide this gift for you, Stefan S. And even more so, thank you for providing for the show, which is not just for Gons and I. Of course, that's definitely, we are a couple of the primary beneficiaries of that. But also, you're supporting the show, keeping it going for all the other listeners around the world. So thank you, Stefan.
Thank you, Stefan. All right, let's mention.
Did we give him the real executive producer jingle?
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, here you go, Stefan.
Where'd you find this?
Stephen Surrey.
I don't know what that
Stephen
means,
Curry,
but
but
okay.
Stephen Surrey. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, head on over to canarycrysupply.com if you would.
Yeah, do that.
canarycrysupply.com. Go check it out if you want to receive exclusive, awesome things made by yours truly, and even more importantly, producers, artists, the whole Canary Cry family pitches in. We've got all sorts of really cool things that we send out to you 4 times a year if you sign up to produce the show for $33 a month. We are just days away, folks. We had a personal emergency come up with a producer or two, but the supply drop is getting ready to ship as we speak. And we're going to be sending out an email here with instructions and what to expect when the supply drop arrives, but also a nice video from Gons and perhaps some of your very first NFT. It is certainly Canary Cry's first NFT, and you are the sole beneficiaries of that. So we're very excited. And it's not too late to sign up. Of course, things will be happening every month. But I would encourage everybody to support the show. You sign up for a monthly producership. You can feel good about producing the show, feeling ownership of the show, but also receive cool stuff for free. Go to canarycrysupply.com. And, we're all just out here waiting for the supply drop.
Waiting for the supply drop.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got some
no
more
new
producers.
supply droppers.
No new supply droppers. So we had producers to thank. We're going to start with Holly S.
Holly S. Thank you very much, Holly S. Holly S comes in with 3333. That's right. And I did not see a note or nothing from Holly, so thank you. Thank you anyways.
Thank you very much, Holly. Next up, we have Bernie E. Oh,
that's right.
Bernie Sanders, but guess
no,
not. Yeah.
no. Bernie E comes in for 11 plus fees and signed up for a monthly recurring producership of that 11. Thank you very much, Bernie.
Thank you, Bernie. Appreciate that. Next up, we have LX Protocol V2.
That's right. LX Protocol V2 is on a 15-episode streak, which means producer bot LX Protocol V2 is a rocket man.
Rocket man. Burning out his fuse out here
Alone. That's right. Thank you very much, LX Protocol V2, coming in for the pocket full of sevens and fees.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Sir Scott Knight of Truth.
That's right. Sir Scott Knight of Truth is on a 128 episode streak.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Sir Scott Knight of Truth.
Thank you. No note, huh? Next up, we have Sir Sigra the Beast.
Sir Sigra the Beast is on a 2-episode streak. Coming in for a pocket full of sevens here in the Newt. The Newt says, last night I dreamt that Basil's VR headset fell off and revealed his face. What did it look like? A big Mr. Yuck sticker with a beard and googly eyes. God, dreams can get weird. What is a Mr. Yuck sticker?
I had to look it up.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. I'm going to pull it up here. It's one of those, at least the one I can find, is it's a circle. Instead of a smiley face, it's kind of like a eyes squint or eyebrows squinted and tongue sticking out face. Like a bleh.
Is it like an emoji? Oh, yeah,
like
I'm looking
yuck.
at it now. It's a
Yuck.
green, yeah, sort of in the smiley face style, but it's green and it's sticking out his tongue. It looks like a
emoji.
No, what it looks like is a what is it called? Like a poison control.
Oh yeah, this is
PR
poisonous.
thing.
Yeah, the light green and the
a lot of them say National Capital Poison Center, and then the phone number for the poison center. Interesting. Okay, well, maybe that is what I look like under there. Who knows? But yes, I don't know what that dream. I don't know what that dream means, Sir Sigra. But thank you for letting us know.
It means God is keeping you anonymous, Basil.
I was going to say maybe I'm poison control. If your mind gets poisoned, you just call up your buddy Baz and he'll tell you how to handle it.
Meet you in the metaverse.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. All right.
Thank you very much, Sir Sigra the Beast.
Next up, we have Sir Salmon's Knight of the Fishes.
Yeah, Sir Salmon's Knight of the Fishes coming in with 3333. Thank you very much, Sir Salmons. And he has a note here. Happy Monday, lads. And there's a little UFO emoji. Have a great show. Thank you very much, Sir Salmons, Knight of the Fishes.
Thank you, Sir Salmons. Next up, Puddin22.
Puddin22 coming in with a pocket full of sevens plus fees and a note. Greetings, Basil and Gons. Finally back in my human cat house after a wild week in Branson. Ready for a great show and to let the fur fly. What day is it? Meow, meow, meow. Puddin22.
Gary, what day is it? Monday.
Thank you, Puddin22.
Meow, meow, meow.
Appreciate it. Next up, we have Morv.
Morv is on a 72 episode streak. Coming in with the 1111. Thank you very much, Morv.
Thank you, Morv. Next up, we have Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch.
Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch, is coming in on an 80 I gotta double check this one. This was my bad. Yeah, 87 episode streak.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
1001. Amen.
That's right, 1001. Thank you, JC. And a note, I hope you both had a restful weekend. I did not, but it's okay. Thank you. Anyways, love all you Canarians out there. Love you too, JC. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sir JC. Appreciate it. Next up, we have Jonathan F.
Jonathan F is on a 2-episode streak.
3.
Coming in with a pocket full of 7s plus fees. What day is it, Gary?
What day is it? Monday.
Monday. Do you think we'll see another David and Goliath moment in the end times if the Nephilim come back through a CERN portal in Antarctica? Can't wait for the Joe Rogan episode on Ravel. Man, that would get the PR, the marketing going, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many invites Joe Rogan gets in a single day.
Probably
like people
1,000.
just sending people just sending emails, just being like, you know what? It doesn't even matter, man. We'll just send it. Who knows? Maybe like a miracle will happen and he'll do it. But it's like 1,000 people a day doing that. It's possible. God, with God, nothing is impossible. That's for sure. Let's see here. David and Goliath with what do you think, Gons? Nephilim, David and Goliath situation with the CERN portal in Antarctica? Yes? No?
Maybe. I don't know. The Bible prophecy makes it sounds like once the whole evil thing is unleashed that it's not going to be good for the saints. So... yeah,
it'll probably be more like a Pacific Rim situation where I, by then, have sort of gotten my mech license and have put together sort of a ragtag team of mecha rough riders. And we take our mechas down to Antarctica to defend, against the hordes of Nephilim coming through the portal. And that's probably how I'll die, I imagine. But it'll be a pretty good scene in the movie, that's for sure.
Yep. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jonathan F.
Thank you, Jonathan F. Next up, we have Katerina D.
Katerina D. coming in with pocket full of 7s and fees.
Thank you, Katerina D. Next up, we have...
That's it. No, nothing.
No. Next up, we have Isaac G.
Isaac G is producing the show for a pocket full of 7s plus fees. Thank you very much, Isaac.
Thank you, Isaac.
We may have gotten a note from Isaac. I'm usually pretty good at scooping up the notes and things when they happen, but when we're trying to get started early, it is possible that something slips through the cracks, but not in this case. Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you very much, Isaac. That's the cutoff right there.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to get back to our list. There we go. And that concludes our list of financial producers who came in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. But we got a few more to thank, and we'll just zoom through them now. First of all, we got Sir Casey the Shield Knight on a 138 episode streak.
Thank you, Sir Casey the Streak.
38. You are the streak, Sir Casey. Next up, we got the Streak Sisters, starting with Veronica D on a 104 episode streak.
Streakers. Women rule. Thank you so much.
And of course, the other Streak Sister, Gail M, on a 104 episode streak.
Streakers. Women rule. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
we got
you.
Jackie U on a 45 episode streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule.
Thank you, Jackie U.
And Sir James Knight and Servant of the Lion of Judah on 73 episode streak.
Okay. Thank you, Sir James.
And last but not least, we got Runk Smash on a 17 episode streak.
Thank you, Rung Smash.
There we go. We did it. That concludes our list of financial producers for this episode of Canary Cry News Talk, episode 467. Yeah.
Yep. That's
okay.
correct.
There we go. And There's nothing else to say, but thank you for your patronage.
Shut up and take my money.
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Oh, you stepped
head on over
right on it.
to canarycrynewstalk.com. There's a green little tab. Click on that tab and you can leave us a voice message. That's right. 90 seconds of freedom, I call it, to myself, because I've never said it out loud or ever once before, but that is the new thing. 90 seconds to leave whatever message you want, and you are explicitly giving us permission to read it on the show if we want, but it is not guaranteed. Who do we have coming in?
Read or play. Normally play, but...
Did I say read?
Yeah, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to start transcribing them and then performing them myself on the show, yes.
We first up got a message from Quantum Epic.
Hey guys, It's Quantum Epic here. I love this little thing you got going that you can leave a message. Mine's going to be mumbling, but I just want to say hi, and you guys do a great job. I listen to you all the time, and I love your clip channel. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, baby.
Basil and Gons, you guys are hilarious, and like I said, love listening to you. Always uplifts my day. So, you guys, I'm visiting California right now. It's interesting. The sights are beautiful, but, it's kind of
I know.
sad. There's definitely a homeless
I know it's sad.
But
I know.
Anyway, yeah, it's expensive and all that, but they're so beautiful. The coast and the redwoods. That's where I'm at. So, alrighty, 90 seconds is the max duration. I guess I will leave it at about that. Okay, so thanks again, and keep up the great work.
Thank you very much, Quantum Epic. I love that as a new trend for the voice message channel. Just come on and just sort of, list the reasons why California is a bad place. It's we got to get Gons out of there, guys. It's peer pressure is the name of the game. I don't know if he claims to know, but I think a reminder once in a while. Thank you very much, Quantum Epic.
Thank you.
Always wonderful hearing people give us compliments.
Yeah, that's always very nice.
I will never, I'm not going to get tired of that. That's a great use of the tool.
Yep. Thank you, Quantum Epic. Next up, we have a message from Rochelle.
Hello, Canarians. Just wanted to start off Monday right. Here is Psalm 52. Does the great warrior boast about his crime? God judges them in eternal time. All day long you plot destruction. You deal in lies, deceit, and corruption. You love the evil lies you tell. Slander those who might rebel. But God will strike you down and pull you from your town and uproot you from the land of the living.
Ooh.
The righteous will see and be amazed. Look as the mighty warrior is tased. They did not trust in the Lord of hosts, but of their wicked wealth they boast. And the righteous, like a fruitful tree in the house of God eternally, in your unfailing love I trust. Proclaim your virtuous deeds I must. I will live by Yah's great name. From the faithful he takes all blame. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Okay, that was fun. That was a fun little twist on it. It's like a mix between a freestyle a cappella rap or perhaps a slam poetry competition.
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid.
Bible style.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rochelle. Always wonderful to hear that soothing voice of yours.
Absolutely. I think that's it. That's all the messages we got.
Okay, love it. Thank you all. Remember, leave us a message over there at canarycrynewstalk.com, and we'd love to play it on the show. Always nice to know that there's real human beings out there and not just a bunch of Russian bots. All right.
Yeah, I should have tried to find a bed for that, like a little on the road, Jack Kerouac. What are the beatnik? Like a beatnik style.
Some bongos.
Yeah, just a little thing in the background. I should have done
bongos.
that. But,
well, you're okay, Guns. Don't worry. You've got a lot of things to worry about. Improving upon our listeners' voice messages unprovoked is pretty far down on the list.
Okay, well.
Okay.
I like for them to be experienced in the proper.
You are a true professional. All right.
Okay, let's wake up and then say bye. Wake up first.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
And say bye.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Twitch, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, you can find all those links at canarycry.party as well. Too hot for YouTube. YouTube.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
That's right. Get out of here, Susan. This isn't for you.
Bye, Susan.
Go watch somewhere else, YouTubers. All right.
Okay.
And with that, we know what time it is, Gons.
COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19,
COVID-19, yes.
COVID-19, COVID-19.
Coronavirus. Vaccine, number one way.
Woo! Okay. I just got distracted because it just came out that Elon Musk just bought almost 10% of Twitter. So,
what?
Kind of a big deal happening right now. Yep. Breaking. Elon Musk has taken 9.2% passive stake in Twitter, Bloomberg News reports.
That's a lot of Twitter.
Woo! Wow. Okay. Well, what's the next move here? Bring back Trump? Merge with Truth Social?
Now he really can say whatever he wants.
Oh, I know. This is Elon buying his free speech or something. I don't know.
Yeah, passive stake. I wonder if those are voting shares or not.
Maybe.
But I don't know what passive stake.
I don't know what that means either. Yeah. Not a billionaire. Don't know all the lingo. Yeah. Learning as we go. Okay, so we got some COVID stuff here, and a lot of COVID stuff in the news in the last couple days. Not everything is.
They were saving it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're saving it. There's a link here that we have for the Public Health and Medical Professionals for Transparency documents. It links to all of the documents being released, the ones that were supposed to take FOIA. 75 years to release to the public. But the judge said no. And so they're starting to come out. Is there anything, Basil, that you found or somebody found that you looked into?
I thought that the document entitled BNT 162B2 5.3.6 Cumulative Analysis of Post-Authorization Adverse Event Reports had some interesting details, specifically in Table 6. I don't know if you have that.
It's pulled up. Do you want me to read some of it?
Oh, we are so fast on that. Well, no, I got it right here. In fact,
okay.
There's a column called Missing Information, and a column called Post-Authorization Cases Evaluation, cumulative to 28th of February 2021, total number of cases in reporting period. And there is, in the Missing Information column, it says use in pregnancy and lactation. And there is an interesting little detail here. It says pregnancy cases, there were 274 cases and now keep in mind, this was post-authorization cases. Right. So this was up until 2021, which really was only about a month.
But you know, that
month
was
or two.
The pregnancy conversation kicked up, I remember, at the end of 2020. So it was already in sort of the milieu of conversation, like, oh, my period's, weird, the timing is off.
Yep.
That was all out there, but it was all rumor. It wasn't like, it wasn't official. No news were carrying it. It was all fringe, crazy Trump supporters or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, there's an interesting thing here. Pregnancy cases. There were 274 cases that they were following. It was including 270 mother cases and 4 fetus baby cases, representing 270 unique pregnancies. The 4 were linked to 3 mother cases. 1 mother case involved twins. Pregnancy outcomes for the 270 pregnancies were reported as spontaneous abortion, 23. Wow. So 23 out of 270 of those they were looking at had 9% spontaneous abortion.
Wow.
With vaccinated pregnant women. Outcome pending at this time were 5. Premature birth and neonatal death, spontaneous abortion with intrauterine death, 2 of each of those. So that's bringing it up to, what is that? Let's see, 1, 2, 4. So we're up to 27 deaths out of the 270. That's 10%. Spontaneous abortion with neonatal death and normal outcomes, 1 each. There was 1 normal outcome that they
normal
counted.
Outcome, like nothing went wrong.
Just like a fine baby, just a healthy baby, whatever the bar is for that.
So 20-something dead, 1 normal. Okay, what about the rest?
No outcome was provided for 238 pregnancies. Note that 2 different outcomes were reported for each twin, and both were counted. So there's a full 238 pregnancies that had no outcome reported. Now that leaves 32 actual outcomes. So they only recorded 32 outcomes.
Out of the 32, how many
Out of
died?
the 32 outcomes, like 28 of them died. Only 4 of these pregnancies were successful.
Wow.
And the rest, so you could imagine why they may have just not followed
shut
up.
it down. Shut it down now.
They were at like a 99% adverse reaction rate on these pregnant women. And they just stopped counting, basically.
I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and for a moment I thought maybe no outcome means normal, like nothing went wrong, like nothing good, nothing bad, this is normal. But the fact that they actually count normal outcome is sort of the thing that pops
they have
that whole
a category
concept.
They have a category for normal outcomes, and so no outcome is different than normal outcome. Which I don't, I'm willing to learn about this, but it sounds to me like so many bad things were happening in this 270 pregnant women that they just kind of didn't follow up on it or something.
So strange, so convenient.
So, it goes on and on. They talk about 124 mother cases, 49 non-serious and 75 serious reported clinical events, which occurred in the vaccinated mothers. Now, this was mothers. I believe this was breastfeeding age or something. Right. Let's see. Pregnancy-related events reported in these cases coded to the PTs. Abortion spontaneous, 25. Let's see here. Fetal death, 1 each. They list a whole nother thing. So, long story short, a whole bunch of nasty things were happening when they were, studying to see what the outcome would be on pregnant women. And they just kind of stopped counting after pretty much 40 bad things happened.
Well, I'll piggyback on that with this here. This is a screenshot from a different database. So I don't know how much of this is accurate, but according to Vaccine Reports on Twitter, this chart shows 84,556 reproductive systems and breast disorders as damage after the vaccine, including 21,039 heavy menstrual bleeding, 3,198 vaginal hemorrhaging, over 10,000 irregular menstruation, and over 8,000, almost 9,000 menstruation delays. So,
and you wonder why they wanted to take 75 years to release all this information.
They wanted everybody the people that would be affected to be either dead or near death or just a whole different generation to be looking at this as kind of we made mistakes back. Remember that 2020 pandemic? It was like we repeated the 1918 Spanish flu all over again.
By then, medical technology would be so far ahead. It would be more like, wow, can you believe we were so ignorant back then? It'd be a different generation. Yeah. So, but of course, we're not hearing a whole lot about this because, World War III is breaking out. And why would we care about the vaccinations and the lies of the lizard people at the pharma companies and the cooperation with the news media and the politicians and all these things. And none of this matters because Putin is a crazy maniac.
Evil man. Evil Putin's going to give COVID to everybody.
Also a genius somehow.
Super smart. Okay, so
along those lines. Yeah. Oh, did you have anything else with that?
No. I was going to go on to the next thing, which is great.
I would be happy to bring us there if you don't mind. abcnews.go.com headlined: Man in Germany gets 90 COVID-19 shots to sell. Why would he do this? To sell forged passes. Okay. Let's read about this and then we can explore. A 60-year-old man allegedly had himself vaccinated against COVID-19 dozens of times in Germany in order to sell forged vaccination cards with real vaccine batch numbers to people not wanting to get the vaccination themselves. Let's say what you will about this guy, but
he's a man of the people.
He saw a need. And the entrepreneurial spirit kicked in.
How many shots is this for you? Coming up on number 90. I'm real protected.
The man from the eastern German city of Magdeburg, whose name was not released in line with German privacy rules, is said to
nice. Way to go, Germany.
Wonderful, yeah. Said to have received up to 90 shots. That's a weird way to say it, but okay. Against COVID-19 at vaccination centers in the eastern state of Saxony for months until criminal police caught him this month. The German news agency DPA reported Sunday. The suspect was not detained, but is under investigation for unauthorized issuance issuance of vaccination cards and document forgery, DPA reported. He was caught at a vaccination center in Eilenberg in Saxony when he showed up for a COVID-19 shot for the second day in a row.
Oh, that's what gave it up. It wasn't 88 times before that he got another shot. This one time,
man, he slipped up. He got greedy.
He got comfortable with the pattern.
Police confiscated several blank vaccination cards from him and initiated criminal proceedings. It was not immediately clear what impact the approximately 90 shots of COVID-19 vaccines, which were different brands, had on the man's personal health. It was not immediately clear. What a strange way to describe that. And very convenient
keel over
for the news.
And die, or
it wasn't immediately clear. I mean, we looked at him and he looked fine. And so it's not clear. He's fine. German police have conducted many raids in connection with forgery of vaccination passports in recent months. Many COVID-19 deniers refuse to get vaccinated in Germany, but at the same time want to have the coveted COVID-19 passports that make access to public life and venues such as restaurants, theaters, swimming pools, and workplaces much easier. Germany has seen high infection numbers for weeks, yet many measures to rein in the pandemic ended on Friday, et cetera, et cetera. This fella, apparently 60 years old, 90 shots, just collecting those beautiful blank cards. Now, first of all, I'm just going to say, I think this story is complete bull hockey. I don't believe it for a second. Not because
he would be dead. His heart would swallow him.
Yeah, 90 shots of any vaccine is not going to get you. You're not going to do it. You're not going to survive. It's not good. It doesn't matter if it's a flu vaccine. It doesn't matter what vaccine it is.
That was actually my whole angle on this. Why is this article being published on AP and it's all over mainstream American news?
It's so safe.
Look at this man. He's a bad person. He tried to, he's trying to do, profit off of the COVID deniers.
Yeah.
But look, he got 90 shots.
He's so
totally
safe.
fine.
You could be 60 years old and get 90 shots and be fine. Yeah, I think this only serves the good PR for the vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a couple things. I mean,
meanwhile, the Pfizer documents, right?
Right. So, meanwhile, the Pfizer documents. So, I mean, it's impossible that this is the case.
Yeah.
But I mean, one thing that kind of gives it away is he was getting the shots, getting the cards filled out from the people, but they were blank.
They were, how are they blank?
How are they blank? Do they not write your name? Do they just is the German system such that they literally stab you and then write down the most valuable information and don't sign it and put your name on it or get any information from you whatsoever?
It's like handing someone a signed blank check to someone.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a blank check situation. Nobody is just handing this man
I don't know about
90
the story,
blank vaccine cards when he gets vaccinated.
I don't think so. I think there's something else going on, and they wanted the headline. There hasn't been a lot of COVID stuff.
Yeah. Or the other option is, he's greasing the palms of the nurses and paying them to give him a blank thing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, of course, if you're already bribing the nurse, you're going to bribe the nurse to give you a saline shot.
Yeah.
Because it's completely insane to think that you could get 90 of these shots. One of these shots was putting people in the hospital. And one of the shots were putting people, on best case scenario, you have flu symptoms for like 3 days. You're not doing that 90 times in a row.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those stories that went viral.
Very clever ploy, very clever false flag by the pharma companies, I think.
Let me do one more here. We don't have to read through all of it, but it is something that is a pattern that we've noticed in the last year or so. This is the Wall Street Journal opinion, and the headline here: FDA shuts out its own experts in authorizing another vaccine booster.
Oh, a classic, a tale as old as time.
Yeah. And again, I won't read the whole thing. I'll just read the first paragraph. The Food and Drug Administration last week authorized Americans 50 and over to get a fourth COVID vaccine dose. Some of the FDA's own experts disagree with the decision, but the agency simply ignored them. It will convene its advisory committee this Wednesday to discuss further vaccine needs. That's like having lawyers present arguments to a judge who's already issued a verdict. So, it's an opinion piece, so it's a little more edgy, but...
Right. It's what they've done, I'm pretty sure, with every single booster decision. I mean, we had FDA scientists, heads of departments.
Yeah, head of vaccine, or the vaccine departments at the FDA stepped down.
Resigning.
Yeah,
it was 2 of them, wasn't it?
It was 2, I think. Yeah, so that was last summer. So, nothing has changed, apparently. And here's my thing. Who is actually running the FDA? Is it the lizard people? What is going on in there where it's like all the experts are like, no, and they're like, yes, do it anyway.
Well, I'll tell you who they are. They are people who are going to be be given cush jobs at the pharma companies when they retire in a few years, and they don't have to answer for their crimes. There is a couple more interesting little pieces just to bring it up.
Yeah.
Another committee member, Cody Meissner, they're giving the names of these committee members, which is interesting, agrees. Dr. Meissner, chief of pediatric infectious diseases at Tufts Children's Hospital, told me last week that the fourth dose is, quote, an unanswered scientific question for people with a normal immune system. So he's on the board or on the committee to making this decision, and he's a pediatrician, and he's saying that the fourth dose is an unanswered scientific question, which is a beautiful statement because we know that. Yeah. We know it's an unanswered question.
Saying that since day one.
And we know the reason for approving it is exactly for that reason. It's unanswered, so we can approve it because we're in an emergency. And I don't know, we'll figure it out. Kind of like the pregnant women, but between the release of the vaccine and February 28th or whatever it was.
Right.
A third member of the committee, Paul Offit, we've heard of Paul Offit before, of the Children's Hospital Philadelphia, told The Atlantic that he advised his 20-something son to forego the third shot, which the FDA recommends for everyone 12 and over. So you have doctors on the committee who are in charge of, approving them or not and are being ignored. People on the committee are telling their kids not to get it. It's complete insanity. And the FDA is a criminal organization. I mean, there's no other way to explain it.
They really, truly need to be shut down, or just something needs to happen where they need to just fix it or something. I mean, this is, I don't know what it will take for the public to actually be charged enough to do something about it. Obviously, it's not enough people to make a difference right now, but I don't know. Maybe the tides will turn as things move forward here with opinion pieces like this coming out of the Wall Street Journal. But, I'm not expecting too much change.
No, but the Wall Street Journal does a delightful job of putting these things out there. So they bring up the tinnitus thing again.
Yeah.
They talk about how the CDC did basically the same thing. So you have the CDC and the FDA both making executive decisions against the advice of their committee. Actually, Rochelle Walensky didn't even convene the CDC's panel. She just went and did it even without asking.
That's right.
The committee to officialize it.
Yeah, good move.
So it's a wonderful world we live in. It's blatant now. Again, the transparency, the blatancy with which they're doing this. All you have to do is pay attention and see that these organizations do not have the public good in mind. They are only here to serve their corporate overlords in the pharma industry.
Which we will not do.
It's break time. Come on, take a break.
Instead, we will operate or continue to operate on the value for value model. And we're taking a quick second break here because we want to thank our producers who come in with their talent. Canary Cry News Talk is a place for therapeutic reflection of our troubling world, and we encourage all of you to help process all these crazy things going on and do so as a group, a community, friends, family, brothers, sisters. And we encourage those people out there with talent to put their talent to good use, do some art, do some music, draw stuff, make a jingle, make an ISO, whatever it is. Help us process it together. And you know what? The first thing we got to do, we got to thank Faye Liverin. Thank you very much, Faye Liverin, for that fantastic politic jingle animation. Appreciate it. I guess we should play it again just to
play it again
to feature it.
Yes.
It's Latin for many. Tick. Now suck your blood. Now suck
Politics.
your blood.
Yeah, and for those of you just listening, throughout the sequence of the jingle, you get more and more of the portraits of the politicians that Dame Allie has drawn over the years.
Indeed, all of our lizard-eyed overlords.
Yeah, I like how AOC is sort of blocked by Boris's head, but all you can see are her crazy eyes. You know?
Yes.
It's good stuff.
Very good. Thank you very much, Faye Liverin. You've really stepped things up around here. It's a magnificent addition. And let's see here. There was a little note here. It's a short note. Politic video jingle. The artist feature here needs no introduction. Thanks to Allie for picking out her finest and Ebony Blaze for prepping the files so nicely. So it was a team effort there. Ebony Blaze, Dame Allie, and Faye Liverin. You guys are the best.
Thank you very much.
Audio production.
Oop.
Whoa.
Sorry.
What happened? Did it get tired?
My finger came off the button, and I didn't think it was going to stop. Okay. So we got some audio producers to thank, and we're going to start off with Psalm 40, who came in with a note and a track. Let me read the note here.
You know what? Do I have the note? Because I may. You're talking about Psalm 40. Yes, I will read that note. I'm realizing we did miss. I don't see it on my list. Maybe you got it, but there was another jingle that came in on April 1st. Oh. Yes, April 1st from Ghosternaut.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind getting that while I read Psalm 40 here. It goes like this. Blessings, my bros. I pray you had a bountiful Sabbath and a beautiful weekend. Today I have a mashup of Psalm 1, 2, and 3. I call it The Psalm. Super original, I know. Also, I must say, doing all these songs has been an unexpected blessing. Obviously, I've had to chop up some passages to make them fit and flow better. This has prompted me to dig into the lexicon and concordance. What I expected to be a simple audio Bible project quickly developed into an extensive word study. That being said, Psalm 2 clearly uses God and his anointed as the focal characters, but I never really imagined Psalm 1 or 3 with Christ/God as the main characters. For example, the main character of Psalm 1:3 will, quote, never wither. And in Psalm 3:5, he says, lays down to sleep and rises again, for the Lord sustains him. It just really made me think of Jesus. And I think these three Psalms tell a beautiful story when they're all put together. Enjoy, God bless, and Godspeed. Thank you very much, Psalm 40.
Blessed is the one man who walks not in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted near flowing waters. His fruit will be brought forth in its season.
All right, stick around to the end of the show to hear the whole thing.
Of course, we'll be playing the full version at the end of the show of the Canary Crime mixtape. Thank you, Psalm 40.
Thank you, Psalm 40. Next up, we have Jonathan F., who came in with the Friday jingle remix. So
yes, so this was requested, if you remember, Guns.
Yes.
By one of the producers.
Yeah, that's right.
Who was it? It was Sir JC, Night of the Techno Squatch, last episode, requested a deep house remix of the Friday jingle. So there we go. Oh.
Love it. I will. One quick thing: the actual vocal, "It's Friday," should probably be a little louder, just for the sake of it being the Friday jingle.
Always lean to louder vocals.
Yeah.
Kind of brought me back to my boots on the ground Burning Man experience. I mean, I'm telling you, we could put together a whole set at Burning Man with the Canary Cry DJs.
Oh, we'll get wandering
nasty electronic music.
Yeah, we would get a whole bunch of people, don't know they're walking into a Jesus tent.
Jesus jingle tent.
Yeah, Jesus jingle tent. Which is Jonathan F's other track here, Jesus is Coming. He's thought the Canary Cry mixtape could use some epic, so I decided to put this together featuring 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 17 and Revelation. Oh, Jonathan F. You have much to learn, my young I don't know. What are you?
Is it because he put an S on the end of Revelations?
Revelations.
It was a test.
Plural.
He was just testing you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I caught you, Jonathan F.
You got it.
You can't get one by me. All right. Revelation 1:7. Hope you guys like it. God bless. So here's a few seconds of it.
Ooh.
Let's hear the drop.
For this we declare to you by a word from the Lord, that we who are alive, who are left at the coming of the Lord, will not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a
Oh, yeah. We'll hear the whole thing at the end. I'm pumped.
That is epic. Oh, my gosh.
So there you go.
You know, sometimes during the mixtape at the end of the show, I have to like get up and use the bathroom and stuff. But it's going to make it difficult with all these good tracks playing at the end of today's show. I'm going to have to stick around. Thank you, Jonathan F.
Thank you, Jonathan F. Okay, and you said that there is a ghost or not jingle. So I have it here. Are you ready?
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
I got a note here.
Oh, okay.
Let me read the note.
Yep.
Say, hey there, Baz and Gons. It's your favorite Illuminati shill here, contributing a little audio jingle. I'm competing for Basil's Grittiest Grimace.
Ooh.
As last week, the, dare I say, new Wednesday jingle evoked a pretty gritty grimace from the Razzle Dazzle. My best buddy, Basil. I took it as a challenge. It's my personal quest to achieve the prestigious award of Basil's Grittiest Grimace. All ye who dare to challenge me, beware. I got trap bass for days. Ghost or not out. Okay, all right. Let's see how gritty this grimace gets.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Break.
Give me a break. Not bad.
That's fun. Yeah, I'm telling you, folks, you gotta get your studio grade headphones on.
Yeah, you gotta really roll out the subwoofer for that one.
Feel your brain rumble a bit on those.
You need some clear under 100 hertz speakers to really get a full experience with that one. But yeah, thank you very much, Ghost.
Yes, that was quite a gritty grimace. I'm realizing there is an issue with this competition though, because my face is cannot
covered.
be observed.
Yeah, it can't be
by
observed,
a casual
yes.
observer.
I think they just go off of your vocal reactions where you go, oh.
We should get a little meter. If we could get a meter that I can control for on screen, you know,
Just
like
the
those
decibel.
the applausometer or something like
yeah.
this. Yeah, and I'll just have my face with a grimace in it. Yeah. we'll need some help in the animation department, but
that's tough, man. That's a whole app or something, you know. Plug it in the back.
No. I'm sure somebody's got a plug in for Twitch streamers or something. Thank you very much, Ghost or Not. That surely was some filthy bass, and I appreciate it very much. Keep please. Keep at it.
One art.
Somebody else. Hold on, Gonzo. Somebody else is on the list.
Oh, it is?
We're skipping somebody on the audio production list. Is that a fake out? Was that a fake out?
Oh, yeah. This is, yeah. Sorry, that was,
okay.
that's just, it's there
Leftover.
because it's, yeah. Yes. Okay, now we can do art.
One art, please.
And we present Dame Allie.
One art, please. Another one from Allie now. Here it is.
Oh my goodness, I am not going to sleep tonight. So Dame Allie sent us, and you know, this is always great. People that skip the breaks and stuff, don't do it, because it's always important to, the breaks contain content is what I'm trying to say. And it's not just the art. There's more to it. And Dame Allie brings us this piece here. It's titled The Beloved Leader's Endearing Nickname. And it's based on an article that was in Futurism. And the headline is Mark Zuckerberg says that when employees call him the Eye of Sauron, it's actually a compliment.
Of course he would think that. Of course he would take that as a compliment.
He's got some quotes in here. Quote, some of the folks who I work with at the company, they say this lovingly, but I think that they sometimes refer to my attention as the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah.
It says he claims his new moniker refers to his, quote, unending amount of energy to go work on something.
I don't think that's what they're referring to.
At least Zuckerberg seemed to be aware of the potential harm his Eye of Sauron can do, telling Ferriss, this Tim Ferriss, who was on the Tim Ferriss podcast, quote, telling Ferriss that he tries to, quote, diffuse his energy. What? And, quote, manage my schedule so I can actually focus on the things I'm naturally thinking about. Diffuse his energy? Why? Are you vibrating at a higher dimensional lizard?
It's the buildup. It's like the river of negative energy flowing underneath the sewers of New York in Ghostbusters 2. It must be diffused and not concentrated. So he has to open up his lizard person armpit glands and expel all the bad juices.
But this piece by Ali of Mark Zuckerberg with very defined lizard eyes, or Eye of Sauron eyes, this is scary. This is scary.
This is the problem that's beginning to develop
with Ali's art. It's too real.
With how good Ali is getting. Again, just gonna say it. It's the most improved artist I've ever seen, and I feel like a blessed. My life is blessed for being able to literally watch it frame by frame improve over 2 years now. And the detail and the quality and the photorealism of this piece that Dame Ali has created of Mark Zuckerberg making a very stern face, very stern, neutral. It's terrifying in its neutrality.
Right. He's not showing any emotion, really.
No, this is his normal. Yes, this is how he sleeps at night, actually. Just like this. Eyes, lizard eyes open and everything.
He's focused on the things he naturally thinks about. As his quote
this
says.
Is him thinking about the natural things, drinking human blood, slithering out of his human skin at the end of the day, letting himself stretch out. It's terrifying. This is a truly scary thing you've created, Ali, but I'm so appreciative for it.
Halloween
and the
in
talent
April.
that it takes is out of control.
Yeah, we should use this as some kind of promo thing during Halloween, Or I should just print it out and walk around with it on my face.
Oh, well, I know. We were going to do the Nancy mask. We got to do a whole line of masks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ali.
Really incredible.
Awesome work. All right. We got a couple from Sir Dove.
One art piece from Dove.
All right. He's got a note. Piece for this week's Bible artwork. I did a design for Psalm 40's track Psalm 1. Okay. So we got some visual to go along with the music. He is like a tree planted near flowing waters. His fruit shall be brought forth in its season. So,
indeed, and I'm loading it up here. There we go. We've got a beautiful scene of a cherry poppy tree. What is that called? Cherry blossom tree.
Cherry blossoms. Yeah.
And again, we've got the beautiful. This is not graffiti style, but it is a very impressive, happy font here. He is like a tree planted near flowing waters. His fruit shall be brought forth in its season. Beautiful. Thank you, Sir Dove.
And then the other one is from Proverbs 19:4. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins.
Indeed. And we've got a picture of a sort of an under a train bridge here with a pile of tires and a bunch of trash everywhere. Not a great looking spot. And there's the illustration over it is a shopping cart with a pile of a few trash bags, the black trash bags in it. And one of those trash bags is so lonely, and he's got little eyeballs, and he's sad. And it says, wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor, which, is one of the wisdom passages there. So very, very well done, Dove. Is this the Proverbs? Which is the...
Yeah, this is the Proverbs.
The Proverbs,
yeah.
Yes.
The first one was the Psalms.
Yes, some wisdom writing there. Thank you very much, Dove.
Thank you, Dove.
Powerful. We need to find some sort of automation to make sure that these go up on Instagram.
I know. All right, we got another one here from Mr. Jag. Mr. Jag has a note. Hi, Basil and Gons. Info about this art. Some teaching began to spread around the Islamic nations about Israel that, quote, the nation of Israel will be destroyed by the 8th of July, 2022. Whoa, based on some calculations on some Quran verses. Nope.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, that is fascinating. And we got this piece here. You want to describe what's going on in this one? It's kind of like a jihadist. I have it in the doc.
Jihadi type fella here, and he's wearing his hood thing. He's got his headband on with some sort of writing on it, and instead of this, I don't know, the logo of whatever they got going on the middle of the forehead, it's a thumbs down dislike icon. And he's talking about the 8th of July, 2022 there. I cannot read that text for a number of reasons, Gons. Are you able to do that?
On his headband, very hard to read.
I don't think we're supposed to read on his headband.
Well, there's something that says blah, blah, blah under it. His little speech bubble says 8th of July, 2022. And then on the right side,
the red, the blue.
It says, newsflash, Israel will not be damaged? No, destroyed. Jeremiah 3:17, Psalm 125:2, Joel 3:20, Isaiah 11:12, Joel 3:2, Zechariah 8:3, Isaiah 62:1. Yeah, I think it's the passages about Israel.
Right. There's an interesting conversation to be had there about what constitutes the Israel talked about in those passages. Are they talking about the nation state from 1948? Are they talking about, God's people in some other way? It's very interesting. But from what we have seen of, the recent actions by Israel and their sort of reluctance to take a side in this whole thing. There may be some sort of self-preservation built in there, hopefully, or there may be some, interesting implications for that. But yes, the good news is we don't have to wait very long to see.
Yeah, what is that, July 8th? Okay.
July 8th. This is like a month, 2 months.
A couple months away.
Few months. Thank you very much, Mr. Jack. Sorry, I'm trying to pick something up off the floor with my toes.
Okay. Well, we got one more here from Ghosternaut. He comes in with a piece of art. It is entitled Lizard Joe.
Lizard Joe. This is Joe Biden's official, presidential photo here. You got the flags in the background. And man, if this was not the highest quality Photoshop job of making Joe Biden look like a lizard person, I don't know what it is.
Very well done. Yes, the skin shade.
Yes, it's almost imperceptible. It's he's got his green skin. His ears have been brought to a point. Of course, he's got some glowing green lizard eyes and 2 little fangs on the front of his pug there. Yeah,
good detail.
It's just very impressive. Maybe I'm so baffled. Maybe it's not Photoshop.
Maybe Ghosternaut
hanging up in the lizard lodge. Yeah,
right. The Ghosternaut was digging around on some ISS, back hidden room type of thing.
He's trying to, I don't know what he's doing, but we know he has some sort of serious connection with the off-world hierarchy out there. Maybe this is just the real Biden portrait that's hanging up in the lizard lodge on the moon or something.
Very possible. Thank you very much, Ghosternaut.
Thank you, Ghosternaut.
We're going to move on to some microfiction.
Microfiction.
Microfiction. And we have one from Rung Smash.
An angry Nimrod lands at the bunker as the newly freed Redactor slinks inside. A gun raises from the turret and begins firing gobs of white goo that begin swarming the despair merchant. He begins to attack the door when suddenly the goo bots detonate.
Is that the black goo bots from last episode?
It's the black goo bots. We got
man.
the despair merchants who are under attack from the Nimrod man.
The Nimrod man. Okay.
Okay. So just to break this down, there's a bunker that is got despair merchants in them. That's the sort of the independent content creators trying to spread the truth, but doing it in a spooky way. And they are under attack by the goo bots and Nimrod's redactor.
Well.
Yeah. So if you're not following that, folks, I don't know how to help you. Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash. And it's Monday, so we have an entry from the Sentinel. And entry number 15. Wow. Okay, here we go.
Oh, we get to see what happens next. Alpha boys are thrown left and right. Slam, wham, kabam! They cry in terror as Skatesay Gons moves about the rink like a tornado, too fast for the human eye to catch his individual motions. He uses a stance of death, a skit of skating, the ancient samurai arts of skate-jitsu. The Alpha Boys have no defense. Their attacks are futile. A ripped roller charges Skatesay Gons to tackle him, but is too slow. As he dives at Skatesay Gons, he feels his body redirected towards the wall. Fear fills his eyes as he slams face first into the barrier. The tornado is rolling. Alpha Boys keep dropping. Johnny Cale is the last Alpha Boy standing. Trembling, he makes his way towards Skatesay Gons to attack. Stop! Skatesay Gons says sharply, commanding obedience from the Alpha Boy. Then, reaching into his pocket, he grabs a small shipping envelope addressed to John Grease. Take this to your master.
Whoa, man.
Chills, Gonzo. Chills. The moment of victory when you finally let your heart and your skills align to bring justice. I did actually get goose pimples on that one, so thank you very much, the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
That's it.
That's it. We're out of here. Let's get back to the show.
Let's wake up.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, y'all, wake up.
And it is time for some... What are we doing? Oh, I know what we're doing.
Bracketing witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
This girl must be bracketing richcraft.
Witchcraft. Okay. I thought this was an interesting story from theweek.in. It's an Indian outlet. And the headline here is Astrologer Dr. Sohini Sastry enters hallowed pages of World Book of Records. First of all, I didn't know there was a World Book of Records. It's a separate thing from Guinness Book of World Records. But let's learn a little bit about this here. The best astrologer in India, Dr. Sohini Sastry, was honored by World Book of Records for outstanding contribution in the fields of astrology, palmistry, Vastu Shastra, color therapy, Rudraksha therapy, gemology, like gems, and other spiritual sciences with promoting the cause of humanity. The program was graced by Wilhelm Jesler, Chairman UDO International, Switzerland, among other dignitaries. Dr. Sohini Sastry's entry to the World Book of Records, London, is indeed a major boost to the field of astrology and occult science. She was recently inducted following the footsteps of world luminaries as Narendra Modi, Angela Merkel, Bill Gates, Ratan Tata, I don't know who that is, Kapil Dev, maybe some Indian people, Mark Zuckerberg, Hillary Clinton, late Lata Mangeshkar, Sheikh Hasina, and many more. World Book of Records is a hub of like-minded progressive people based in United Kingdom and India, with the primary objective to recognize, list, and honor people and places that have achieved and established certain unparalleled feats in the pages of history. It provides international certification to all these exemplary achievements. It is spread across UK, Switzerland, Australia, US, and India. Dr. Sohini Sastry is regarded as India's top astrologer, being the only one from India to have been felicitated.
Facilitated?
I thought that's what the word is, but it says felicitated.
Okay.
With the Gandhi Nobel Peace Award in 2020. She has the inner strength and wisdom to overcome problems, and she did it to attain greatness at an early age. She was inclined to spirituality from an early age, belonging to the family of Swami Dharma Megarayanya from the paternal side, while from her mother's side, she belongs to the family of Swami Hariharananda Aranya. Although she was, I'm sorry, I'm totally butchering these names, but Indian names are hard. Although she was inclined to academics and completed her post-graduation in political science, she never intended to be a professional astrologer, but she was encouraged towards the occult sciences by her family's spiritual guru. She completed her doctorate in astrology from Victoria Global University and a D.Lit from National American University. She's a specialist in Krishnamurti Padati. Isn't Krishnamurti, wasn't he the guy that claimed to be Christ? I could be wrong about that. I think he might have been one of the Indian gurus that claimed to be the second coming of Christ. I could be wrong.
Sure.
Which is
would be a good reason to put him in the Book of Records.
Yeah, Krishnamurti Padati, which is a blend of Western astrology and Vedic astrology. Dr. Sastry excels in numerology, gemology, color therapy. We already read this. And Tantra. She has a long list of celebrities and VVIP. I think this is supposed to be VIPs, but foreign, it's a W. VIPs from Bollywood, sports persons, politicians who swear by her astrological predictions, and adversaries. Okay, so it goes on to more about what she knows about Vedic astrology and all kinds of Veda, karma, all that kind of stuff. But two things. One, very interesting to highlight, the can you imagine somebody giving an award, like an institution, an international type of institution, giving an award to like the greatest occultist of America? It seems, it's just kind of weird. But also, if you think about it, with India, it's part of their culture, so it's less weird, I think, for India. But yeah, World Book of Records, London. Okay.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I've been doing some searching here while you've been reading about that. You search World Book of Records, you get
Guinness. You get a wave of Guinness. Yes. Yeah, that's right. I already did this.
The first thing is the search result is Guinness Book of Records. You're freaking me out, Gons. The second one is the World Book of Records.
Yeah,
World
it's got
Book
the star with the little swipe through it or something, the logo.
UK, yes. And I have just been poking around. I did find the apply now thing, so we can definitely try to get in there and apply. There's some interesting eligibility criteria. There is... One of the eligibility criteria is participant should be a resident Indian, NRI or PIO. I don't know what NRI or PIO means, but a resident Indian. I mean, you have to live in India or maybe live somewhere else, but also be Indian. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I have to look at the language to really...
Well, I'm reading it to you. We need to search these terms here, NRI or PIO. So that's already weird. Doesn't seem like Mark Zuckerberg would hit that criteria. I'm wondering if this is a pay-to-play Book of World Records type of thing, and they just give the award to a bunch of famous people to kind of give it,
give it an official,
give it credence, give them something to connect with or talk about.
It would be like us tapping into, what is it called? The thing where the celebrities, Cameo, and having them do like a thing and being like, oh, look at this. Dustin Hoffman loves Canary Cry. But,
yeah, right. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. PIO is persons of Indian origin.
Okay.
And NRI is non-resident Indian. Weird. So you just have to be Indian to even be eligible for this.
Interesting.
And somehow Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and
yeah, because they're Indian. You didn't know this?
I did not know this. Apparently,
lizard people.
Lizard people.
What if that's the crazy deception? Where these elite to India, they appear as Indian, and then to like China, they're appearing as Chinese.
Oh, that is another level. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking this is some sort of pay-to-play thing. It seems like they're trying to, put off the impression of like a Guinness Book of World Records.
I'm looking at these buttons. What's the difference between World Book of Records and World Record Book?
Yeah, there are two different things on this website.
Okay. I don't know what they are.
World Record Book Limited, UK, is a publishing initiative of World Book of Records, leveraging world rights throughout the worldwide and local teams positioned to publish, market, and publicize our World Records book in both physical and ebook formats. Apart from its core categories, World Records Book Company is committed to publish books in general, including religion, spiritualities. Oh, they're just publishing books in general, including religion, spirituality, science, history, biography, and memoir, business, self-improvement, book for kids, technology,
one book
healing,
for kids. It's probably not the Bible.
Personal growth, the environment, and social change. Apart from this, at WRBL, authors and their work are centered at everything we do, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
This is just, this is some sort of scam. I mean, this is like a mix between, the fact that they're trying to put off this impression that they are like a Book of World Records thing. It's kind of a cover. It's kind of a cover for just a for-profit publishing company. And B, one that has very specific sort of, new agey, maybe just spirituality, self-help, personal growth, health and healing, to, that milieu.
Man, I'm looking at their executive members page here, and this whole thing looks fake.
Yeah.
Like if you were going to deep fake some faces and throw it onto a list of alleged executive members, this is it right here. This is like, look, there's a guy in here that's got like Indian police, and he's got an Indian police garb hat. I don't know, man. This doesn't look real.
Well, it is. It's it's just it's an Indian company that has a very specific, very, very specific way of doing business to get honor the people they want to honor or whatever. I think that this is a pay-to-play thing. I think if we go through this application, we'll be contacted and asked what sort of donation we could make to the organization or how many books we could sell, something like that.
Right.
I don't know. This is all just very strange. But okay, we should. I want to look at there's a official certificate directory, so we could see who's gotten the certificate.
Okay,
let's look up here. Mark Zuckerberg.
Official certificate directory. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can look up names. Okay.
You can look up names. Look up Bill Gates. I'm going to look up Mark Zuckerberg.
I'll do Bill Gates.
Or William Gates, perhaps.
No Bill Gates. Maybe just Gates. No Gates.
No Gates. Yeah. No records found for Mark Zuckerberg.
Who else? Hillary Clinton.
Was she on the list?
She was on the list. No Hillary Clinton. Where are they getting this information? The week.
I'm telling you, this is
Angela Merkel.
Angela Merkel's on there?
Okay, so let me read this again. Okay. She was recently inducted following the footsteps of world luminaries such as Angela Merkel, Bill Gates. Yeah, I don't...
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man?
It's a lie. None of these people are in here. All right.
Maybe they're part of the World Record Club. Maybe they're a different level. They're not these lowly certificate owners. They are
perhaps, yes. They're in
the star edition,
the diamond level.
Yeah.
All right. right.
Okay, anyway.
Well, that's fun. So we'll keep an eye out for that, and maybe let's apply. Let's see what they have to say for themselves. I mean, we're in the business of spirituality and religion and self-help and
different form,
stuff like that. I mean, the value for value is essentially self-help in a way.
In a way, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
We're going to transition into the final thing here, but from one record book story to another, thank you to Spinsters Just Want to Have Fun, who sent us this story. It's an old story, but I thought it was worthwhile here. You know, we talk about the Nephilim penguins, so might as well. This is.
You're gonna hit the Antarctica jingle?
Which one should I? Okay, I'll hit one, and then we got more to hit later.
So a new discovery: Antarctica.
Penguins. This is a video. This is GuinnessWorldRecords.com, so the official website. Video. The penguin-shaped robot that skipped into the record books. Now, again, this was published back in November of 2017, so it's been a while. But worth noting here, robots are not traditionally known for their skipping ability. However, one penguin-shaped robot has changed that with a new Guinness World Records title. Skipping is one of the oldest and best-loved playground pursuits, with kids doing it all over the world, along with many adults who use it as a fun yet simple way to help keep fit. Now, jumpin'. Built at the National Institute of Technology, Nara College in Chiba, Japan, has entered the record books with its own skipping record. And it shows a picture of these scientists guys from Japan there, and they all have a cute little robot tattooed on their cheek, except one guy has, what is that word here? I'm trying to... I don't know what that word is. He's got a word... painted on his forehead, so I don't know what that means. The small electronic being has set a new world record for most skips by a robot in 1 minute.
Wow.
In an attempt at the RoboCon event organized by Japanese broadcaster NHK and near Tokyo. And there's a video here. I don't know, do you want to check out the video or see if it's worth at least taking a peek?
Well, we've made it this far.
Well, it's got a slow motion thing of, let's see if there's any sound associated with this. Okay, so we're going. Two guys are jump roping and the robot is jumping. That's impressive, Basil.
This is incredible. We're doomed. This is not skipping.
It's jump roping.
A jump roping penguin.
I don't know why it's skipping.
I think I get the point. I mean, they do call it skipping rope in some places.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's a translation thing.
Wow. I mean, this got this little penguin in the Guinness Book of World Records. Surely we can figure something out, Gons.
I know. I was going to say that our attempts have been futile so far, but maybe we get some inspiration from the robot penguin.
Yeah, my goodness. Well, it does combine more than one of sort of humanity's most dangerous threats looming.
Yeah.
Robots and Nephilim penguins. Unfortunately, Nephilim penguins have not gotten the attention that they have in the past. But robot Nephilim penguins really are sort of the next level of, I mean, again, 5-alarm fire threat that we need to look out for. And ones that can jump rope like this, God help us.
It's cold, Basil. It's cold. Antarctica, go burn. It's snowstorm. Antarctica.
Ice scientists are penguins.
Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
Yep.
Okay. You ready to check in with some ice?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And this one, by the way, I had this in here. It's not the most interesting story, but there's an aspect to it that it's in the headline that I thought would be interesting for us to sort of tap into.
Sure. Well, I mean, I found some interesting things. And this is about the science of Antarctic ice. I think there's some interesting takes.
Yeah.
This is coming from SciTech Daily. The headline, Breakup at Land Glacier. Old sea ice crumbled away off the coast of Antarctica's Marie Byrd Island, BYRD, like Admiral Byrd.
It's
perhaps.
It actually is, yeah.
Indeed. Sea ice around Antarctica started to regrow after reaching the lowest extent ever observed.
Yeah, stuff's happening quick over there.
Yeah, satellite record in late February 2022. But that was like a week ago.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess
Stuff
that was a month
quick.
ago. Yeah, it's a month ago. Okay, so we lost all that ice we talked about, and now it's growing back. But on local scales, this transition from melting to freezing can display nuance. For example, near Land Glacier in West Antarctica, an area of old sea ice broke up as new ice formed in March. Around the same time, part of the glacier's ice tongue crumbled away. Oh no. Gons, will you find the Antarctic territorial map again?
Yep. Actually, I think I have it.
I want to know whose territory this glacier is.
I actually looked it up.
Land Glacier.
Yeah, it's like kind of like the southwestern part, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yes.
Keep reading. I actually did pull this up earlier so I can find it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually going to skip a paragraph or two here, but
Sure.
It goes like this. The February image displays this is satellite image, vast expanse of sea ice fastened to the edge of the coastline and to the Land Glacier's ice tongue and icebergs. Lowe explained that this fast ice often has a symbiotic relationship with glaciers and icebergs. Quote, the glaciers and grounded bergs allow sea ice to accumulate and fast in a stable fashion. He said, quote, this fast ice then helps anchor those bergs and glaciers as it thickens into old ice over the years.
I was going to mention
the territorial ownership of this area, Gons.
It is actually unclaimed.
This is the Canary Cry Antarctica research station.
I think they're saving a piece for us.
I think so. Something is happening in this unclaimed wasteland, though. But the recent research using satellite observations showed the fast ice around parts of Antarctica, including off the coast of Marie Byrd Island, has been decreasing since MODIS records began around 2000. Still, a substantial patch remained at the time of the February image. By March, much of this old fast ice had broken apart. Oh no. According to Fraser Christie, a glacier geophysicist, that's not a real job, at Scott Polar Research Institute at the University of Cambridge, the loss of fast ice may have had further consequences. It is possible, he said, that the quick evacuation of fast ice between February and March, in addition to the longer-term losses, may have contributed to the rifting and ultimate calving of Land Glacier's ice tongue. Can you believe it, Gons? I can't believe it.
Glacier geophysics is a thing, apparently.
No, it's fake. No, it's a conspiracy. Christie points to a similar instance at the fast-flowing Totten Glacier in East Antarctica, where losses of get out of here, East Antarctica. There are losses of seasonal fast ice have caused the glacier's front to speed up by as much as 100 meters per year. Quote, an increasing body of research has begun to show the important role sea ice plays in congealing together and buttressing both ice tongues and ice shelves.
Whoa. Wow, okay.
Who says I can't make this sound interesting? Notice, Gons, in the March image that the icebergs appear to be turning west into the direction of the remaining sea ice. Christie explained that the bergs are being carried along with the Antarctic coastal current, which flows westward around the continent parallel to the coastline. The Coriolis effect will also influence the bergs' flow, deflecting them toward the left of their path. Iceberg calving is a natural process for glaciers that terminate in the ocean. Quote, while Land Glacier has been observed to retreat, thin and speed up in recent years, there's no evidence to suggest that its recent calving is related to anthropogenically forced climate change, Christie said. That's right. Ring that bell, Guns. Because we have more and more comments from Antarctic scientists working diligently and forcefully to make sure that all this catastrophe in Antarctica is not credited towards climate change. Also, interesting term here, anthropogenically forced climate change.
Yeah.
As if we humans can either force climate change.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can just invite climate change in for a drink, something like that. We're not forcing anything.
Forcing you to do anything, man.
Just you change if you want climate. It's up to you. Instead, its behavior most likely reflects the natural calving life cycle common to all Antarctic ice shelves and marine terminating glaciers. The glacier last lost a similar amount of floating ice during the austral winter of 2004. Another stage in the natural life cycle of sea ice is visible in the March image. The growth of new sea ice, baby. The smooth streaks and swirls. Ooh, the smooth streaks and swirls are Nila's young ice that often forms in thin sheets, generally no more than 10 centimeters thick. Note that the green-yellow tinge is largely an effect of low light and automatic color corrections. New ice that appears streaky this ice is streaking, Gons. New ice that appears streaky is lining up with the direction of surface winds. Ice that displays a swirling pattern is like being pushed around by winds and ocean circulation patterns, or eddies. As the next few winter and summer seasons come and go, scientists are curious to see what becomes of the glacier, icebergs, and sea ice off this part of Marie Byrd Island. Lowe added, quote, We'll be watching to see if the bergs that broke off the land glacier ground and allow a new area of old fast ice to form over the next few years, restabilizing this area. So, once again, Gons, no. Climate change, at least anthropogenically forced climate change, yes, is not affecting Antarctica. Stop saying that, CNN. The CNN article last episode trying to say that Antarctica is being affected by climate change. Over and over, these scientists are making a point to say that it's not. And just let that young ice streak, baby. Just leave them alone. We're just going to sit here and watch. We're just going to sit here and watch on our satellites.
So Marie Byrd Island, Marie Byrd Land, is an unclaimed region of Antarctica with an area of about 620,000 square miles. It's the largest unclaimed territory on Earth. Named after the wife of American naval officer Richard E. Byrd, who explored the region in the early 20th century.
Yeah, baby. Richard Byrd flying on down into the hollow earth, the godfather of hollow earthers. It ain't flat. It ain't round. There's a whole world in there and a sun generating energy from within. You want to know where the dinosaurs went? Ask Marie Byrd. She knows the secrets.
One of the famous things with Richard Byrd, Admiral Byrd, was that in a 1947 edition of the Chilean paper El Mercurio, there was a little segment that followed. It was an interview. The person writing had a conversation with Admiral Byrd, and he wrote, Admiral Byrd warned today that the United States should adopt measures of protection against the possibility of an invasion of the country by hostile planes coming from the polar regions. The admiral explained that he was not trying to scare anyone, but the cruel reality is that in case of a new war, the United States could be attacked by planes flying over one or both poles. The statement was made as part of a recapitulation of his own polar experience in an exclusive interview with International News Service. So that's just one of many quotes from Admiral Byrd that suggests something weird is going on down there, and
You know what I think, Gons? I don't think these Antarctic scientists appreciate all of the attention that the climate change people are bringing. I mean, we know weird things are happening down there. We know it's the center of attention from the elites. We know that there are conflicts happening down there that that are, if not hidden, they're just not talked about. You have to catch them in bits and pieces in places like, Canary Cry News Talks Antarctica segment. Where you're getting the Australian and Chinese combatants trying to fight over resources and blasts from space lasers and this new streaky ice running around free down there. In the meantime, all these Antarctic scientists with their fake made-up job titles and their weird proclivities for watching ice 24/7, I don't think they like the attention. I think they're trying their hardest to get, outlets like CNN and, other climate change people.
They want the normies to keep it about climate change or something, right?
No. They don't like it. They don't like that. Every time a climate change person gets a bunch of attention, they start talking about Antarctica. Because once you start connecting Antarctica to such a world-ending thing like climate change, if Greta is to be believed, then you're going to have more attention. People trying to visit, people trying to, get their own satellite images, people trying to, it's too much heat, man. And if Antarctica is a place where a number of things might be happening and in different combinations, whether it's sort of interdimensional portals where the Nephilim are setting up shop, or the leftover Nazi technology is being harbored and tested, or proxy wars between the nations of Earth and the Nephilim penguins, whatever the case may be. It needs to be hidden. And the more and more that the climate change people try to connect it, Antarctica that is, to the world-ending apocalypse, you're going to get way too much attention. You're going to get, and that's why repeatedly, over and over, we have literally never read an actual Antarctic scientist claim that that climate change is doing anything down there. The only message that these scientists have sent, the message they're trying to communicate, with their science, is that climate change is not affecting Antarctica. Please stop saying that. Please don't come down here and don't check our internet browsing history. We're just doing our jobs, looking at all these streaking icebergs. So I don't know, man. They don't like the attention, and they're trying their best to keep, fake news outlets from claiming otherwise.
Sure. Yeah. The glacier geophysics position or topic. I found it here on science.org as sort of a definition of glacier geophysics. And it says here, dynamic response of glaciers to changing climate may shed light on processes in the Earth's interior.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a fake job. It doesn't exist. It's a made-up title. They just really like watching ice.
One can recognize in these developments the possibility that concepts derived from the study of glacier flow may be applicable to phenomena of solid deformation deep in the earth.
It's not real. It's word salad. It's just a fancy term so they can have the credibility to tell people to stay away. I also think it's interesting, messaging-wise, that they are talking about how the glaciers move left. They go left. Right. Everything goes left around Antarctica. And as we talked about the ideological colonization of Antarctica, which is very clear and very strong, I don't think it's a mistake that not only do trans women climb the mountains, do women of color break records, but also even the icebergs can't help but move left around Antarctica. It's claimed. They have claimed it. It is an ideological colonization, and the scientists don't like it. The scientists want them to stay away.
Do you think they're going to actually try to bid or figure out a way to a country or something else to take that land, the Marie Byrd land mass there that's unclaimed by anybody?
It's going to be claimed by me in about 3 weeks.
Good luck. What are you going to
sell everything I own? Get myself
to Russia.
Get myself on that booze cruise, the Robert Swan influencer booze cruise. I could put the numbers together to get a ticket on that boat.
Sure.
Both social media numbers and money that I'm sure he's charging these poor influencers. And I'll get down there, stake my claim. And hey, if you want it, you want this territory, Putin, come and take it.
Give me a mountain of gold. Let me wrap with this.
All right.
Richard E. Byrd once said, "Christianity has not failed. It is simply that nations have failed to try it. There would be no war in a God-directed world."
I'm telling you, this Admiral Byrd, he spoke truth, man.
Yep.
Speaking truth to power. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. We'll be back on Wednesday, April 6th, with another great episode. And won't you consider producing that episode? Because it's very important. The only way that true independent media can stay free of the puppet strings and the shackles of corporate advertising and the intentions thereof is by true independent value for value participation by people, not just people who are generous and people who want to donate and people who appreciate the show. But if you really find value when you become a producer of the show, you are not only empowering us to continue with this new this kingdom economics, breaking away from the eye of providence and the elites set up structure on how information can spread and how it is funded. But you also are helping yourself. You're helping yourself. You're helping us. You're helping everyone else who listens to the show. It is truly a family affair. And Gons, I will say I've been on sort of a positive reinforcement kick, telling the producers that I am proud of them for making that decision and taking that step. And I am, but also the numbers have proven that these people don't want positive reinforcement, Gons. They respond to shame. Once again, the producers of this show have shown me that they respond to shame and discipline and emotionally coercive measures.
Oh my gosh.
So here you go, folks. You better go produce the show or else I'm going to be very disappointed in you.
You know, I have never, I'm sorry. I'm kind of looking at this thing over here.
Uh-huh.
Elon Musk tweeted out, "Oh, hi, LOL," at 9:00 this morning. It has 500,000 likes.
Yeah.
That's like he owns the thing.
Folks, what you're seeing happen now live on the show is Gon's trying to distract me from shaming you because he's uncomfortable with the idea. Yes, he's protecting you from Daddy Basil's wrath.
Yeah.
And so remember that next time it's time for you to produce the show. You got to
bring up a little Elon distraction.
You got good daddy and you got bad daddy. And long story short, produce the show. Thank you very much. You can do that by going to patreon.com/CCNT or even better, canarycryradio.com/support.
canarycryradio.com/support.
That's right. I want to thank our producers of this episode, making it happen, starting with our executive producer, Stefan S. Thank you very much, Stefan. And thank you to the rest of our producers, Holly S., Bernie E., Alex Protocol V2, Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, Sir Sigurd the Beast, Sir Samon's Knight of the Fishes, Putin 22, Morph, Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch, Jonathan F., Katarina D., Isaac G., Sir Casey the Shield Knight, Veronica D., Gail M., Jackie U., Sir James Knight, and Servant of the Lion of Judah, and Runk Smash. Thank you guys for holding up the banner of value for value and proclaiming victory over the corrupt system of this world that wants to take control of the message. I also want to thank our Clippies.
Yeah.
Clipping all those videos. Thanks.
That's right. They're clipping the show, clipping away, and they are posting it on the Canary Cry Clips channel, which you should go check on right now. Go turn on notifications, unless you don't like being notified about awesome videos that you love and that everybody that you know will love. But it's got all the clips from the show. It's very important, and they're nice and short and snappy and beautiful, thanks to our clip producers, Emsworth, Faye Liverin, and Epsilon, who are working hard all the time, all throughout the week, to keep new content on that channel, which we are very proud of. Next up, we got our timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
And thank you to our timestamper, Christine C., for Friday's timestamps. Those timestamps are an essential part of so much of our back end, and without the timestampers, I don't know what we would do. So thank you very much, Christine C.
Thank you.
Head on over to canarycrymeetups.com.
Canary Cry Meetup.
canarycrymeetups.com. Go check it out. You'll see all the meetups, how to get involved, how to arrive, how to get in touch with people just like you in your area. And if you don't see a meetup near you, put one on yourself. It's your duty. But to list a few, April 30th, East Texas meetup. April 9th, that's coming up quick. Louisville, Kentucky meetup. San Diego is still postponed. San Antonio, Texas on the 23rd of April. And Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania on, July 9th. So there you go. All around the country, people are meeting. They're getting together. They are showing off how Canary Cry-y they are, but also making bonds and friendships that will last a lifetime. People are making friends. They're finding their spouse's romance, intrigue, friendship. These are the things you will find at a Canary Cry meetup. And like I said, if you don't see one near you, make one yourself. It's easy. Pick a time, pick a place. Just let us know about it, and people will just show up, be friends. And that's it. See you at the meetup. That's right. Make sure to leave reviews on Apple Podcasts and Audible. It's so much fun. Most of you, thousands and thousands of you are sitting there right now listening to this, hearing my voice, forgetting that I too am a human being just like you. I'm not just a strange internet artificial intelligence created specifically to distract you from the true workings of the Illuminati lizard people by creating, hype around Antarctica. It's not really about Antarctica. It's all about Arctica. Anyways, go leave reviews. You're there. Apple Podcasts is the best place to do it. If you don't know how to use Apple Podcasts, if you have an Apple device, you already got it. Little purple icon called Apple Podcasts. Search Canary Cry News Talk. Subscribe to it and leave a rating and a review. It's very important. But don't take it from me. I know that my positive reinforcement will do nothing to change your behavior. Instead, Gonza's grumpy uncle has something to say.
Ugly, horrible person. You must leave review on iTunes. And if you do not, you are ugly, horrible person. You bring shame to family. Ugly, horrible person.
Yeah, you don't want that, folks. And it's really helpful when we get 5 or more reviews a week. It goes a long way to getting those algorithms to get new people to find the show. Hundreds a week if we get 5 or more reviews. So go on out there, people whose name starts with Irene. Ooh, okay. Isaac. iMac. iPod.
Ian.
That's good. Yes. Calling you out, Ivan. Igor. Igorius. I wonder how Igorius is doing. Sir Igorius, send us a note.
It's been a while.
Yes,
Sir Igorius.
so go do it. If your name starts with I, especially if your name starts with I and you don't leave a review, I will know, and I will take revenge. So please leave a rating and review. If we get 5 or more, you'll make me go.
I'm sorry. I stepped on your ooh up.
Post about us on your social media. It's very important. That's right. Doesn't matter what it is. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Friendster, Basil's Bunker, coming soon. CanaryCry.community. All of these things are places that you should be posting about the show. Post about the show, post videos, post links. You should also retweet us, but that's not the most helpful. It's all about posting links, baby. I want to give a big old thank you to The Light in This One, at The Light in This One over on Twitter, for posting about the show, posting a link, always helping out. Thank you very much. Make sure to tag me, tag us, so I can find your post and give you the credit you deserve. And if you're out there, follow these people. These are important. These are people doing important stuff for the show. So go do it. Also, big ol' thank you to XDella C, at XDella C. Go follow that sucker over on Twitter. All right. Thank you very much. And post clips from the Canary Cry Clips channel. That is a real doozy of a way to help us out. You can also help us out by making art, music, jingles, whatever you are. If you're a creative person, send it on over to canarycryradio@gmail.com. Very important. Build the culture. Become a part of the team, making cool stuff and telling us how to feel about the world. And that is usually better than we do. So thank you very much to our creative producers. No matter what you do, send it on over. We love to feature it on the show. You can also just tell people about it. Tell people about the show. Word of mouth is the best way to help people find the show. They trust you. They find you interesting and good looking, and they want to be just like you. So tell them about the show. And it's a great time. It's a great time to start exploring the ways that the corporate news media has been feeding us alternative storylines and worldviews that don't line up with the truth. And it's time. It's time to wake up, folks, and you can be a part of that. But you don't have to do it in any normal way. You can do it any old way you want. You know, some people are eccentric. They're weirdos, man. We're just a bunch of weirdos around here, and we like to use creative means to let people know that things are happening. And, you know, most of the weirdos, they like to go down to Antarctica to accomplish this. And let's see, I already did the space laser logo in the ice, didn't I? Oh, no. So you know what you're really going to need to do? You're going to need to get into robotics. You're going to have to study. Go to school, become some sort of genius level robotics expert. And I've got plenty of material I can hand over to you. You can be our Canary Cry robot technician for when my ragtag team of mecha battle bots go down to defend against the Nephilim coming through the CERN portal. We're going to need you. It's a very important job, kids. Learn to code and learn how to build robots. You're gonna need it, especially when that portal does open up and we're all expecting the Nephilim penguins to come walking through. But our worst fears have come true, and it's a bunch of jump rope skipping robot penguins. World record setting, by the way, and not the fake world record setting. The real Guinness Book of World Records has equipped these jumping robot penguins with the popularity and the money they need to instigate the robot takeover of Antarctica. And Lord knows we do not have the defenses needed to fend off that robot horde of skipping penguin robots. And that's why you need to join the Corps. That's right. Admiral Basil's Robo Jock Corps. That's right. Sign up today, folks. We're going to make big robots. We're going to head on down there. We're going to be the Earth's first line of defense against the robo penguin jumping, skipping attack. And those Antarctic scientists, they got nothing on the robots. They are just sitting there all day on their skinny little Antarctic scientist butts, just watching those glaciers go left. But not us. We are men and women of action and robots. And so head on down there with me as we defend the world from devastation. And here's the thing, though. One thing we do know about the Antarctic scientists is they have access to the highest quality satellite camera imaging. And what they're going to do, they're going to be watching us fight those penguins the entire time. And they're going to take a lot of pictures, and they're going to pass them off to CNN. And CNN is going to come down, send Chris Shilzilla, the one employee they have who will literally take any assignment that they give him. And he will show up, he will interview us, he will jump into a robot mech. I'll put him in a little baby Bjorn on the front of my robot mech, and he will get to experience the brutal, savage reality of robots fighting down in Antarctica. He'll come back, he'll write something for it, he'll put it on CNN Plus. It'll be a wonderful retelling. The colorful language he'll use to tell the story of how we saved the world will be great. Unfortunately, he's gonna have to make up some reason why it's Trump's fault. It's just what he does. It's the only way he knows how to do it. So there's gonna be a little bit of that in there, but what we do know is that somebody will read it and they will hear about the heroic actions of the Canary Cry News Talk Robo Defense Corps. And then people will listen to the podcast. It's that simple, because I always listen to the podcasts of every hero who saves me from Nephilim penguin robots, and that's just how it's going to happen. Those are the people that we want. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it any way you want. And the thing that's the most important is for you to know that we call it rattling cages. And if there's anything else you need to know, here's what you do. You walk right up, you grab by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, any last words?
Thank you.
Did the music stop?
No, it's just low.
Oh.
I just pulled it back.
Very low.
Sorry. Okay. I was just going to say, there's a lot of bird fighting. It's interesting.
Bird fighting? Fighting?
Yeah. The Russians have their two-headed phoenix. The U.S. has the bald eagle. Yeah. Elon is now a bird owner, 10% of Twitter.
Bird, right? Yeah.
And then we got Canary Cry. We got our seal. It's a bird, canary seal.
Birds, canary.
I think we're in the war.
I think we're in it.
Yeah,
we are a faction. We're officially
all these birds
faction.
Fighting. Yeah.
If you're out there and your logo's not a bird, step aside. You're in the junior leagues.
That is exactly my point.
Let the bird boys take care of you. Come on. I like it, guys.
All right, there you go.
All right, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in again. But until then, think outside the cage.
Give me a break.
This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
For this we declare to you by a word from the Lord, that we who are alive eye will see him, even those who pierced him, and all tribes of the earth will wail on account of him.
Blessed is the one man who walks not in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted near flowing waters. His fruit will be brought forth in its season, and his leaf shall never wither. In all that he does, he prospers. As for the wicked, they are like chaff blown away in the wind. Therefore, they will not withstand the judgment. The Lord knows the way of the righteous, and the way of the wicked shall be undone. Why do the nations gather and plot in vain? The kings and rulers of the earth take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. And they say, let us break their bonds and cast their restraints away from us. But he who sits in heaven shall laugh. The Lord makes a mockery of them. He will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury. The Lord will say, I have established my king on Zion, my holy hill. You are my son, and today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will give all the nations over to you. The ends of the earth will be your possession. You will shatter them with a rod of iron, and their pieces shall disperse as a potter's vessel. Therefore, be wise, O kings, and be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with respect, and rejoice in awe. Kiss the Son, lest you perish in his wrath. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. O Lord, still so many rise against me. They say of my soul, there is no salvation in him. As for you, Lord, you are a shield around me. You are my glory, and you keep my head held high. I cry out to the Lord, and he answers me. I lay down to sleep, and I wake again, for the Lord sustains me. I shall not fear the masses who come against me, for you will strike all my enemies in the mouth. You will break the teeth of the wicked. Salvation belongs to the Lord, and his blessing will cover his people.
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
I'll keep you safe and warm. Keep the cameras on in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on now in my people's zoo. They've heard the bill. You, yeah, you in my people's zoo. They all want to shoot your dad.
More pills than anyone in the world. Armageddon's on the way.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo. I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths! CanaryCryRadio.com/support.